And welcome to Calling the Audible.
What is this voice?
I wondered if you remember that you were leading the show.
Yes.
Okay,
I
cool.
do remember,
Well,
yes.
clearly, but we hadn't talked about it till just
Just now?
just now. So I wasn't sure if you remembered from last week.
Can you move your jacket bag thing? It's in the frame.
Jacket bag thing. No, it's not. Oh, yeah, it is.
Not you. That's why I looked at him.
My
and I said
jacket
it.
bag is retreating.
Thing. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Hi,
No, but seriously though, what was that voice?
It was like, I don't know, a raspy radio voice.
So it wasn't like inspired by anything?
No.
Yeah, it was terrible.
jeez.
Way to prop me up. And
I mean,
then-
you're
So
doing
good
well
s-
in
good
football,
start,
so I
you
gotta
know.
find something.
Yes, it was quite the week in FPF. What?
For good and for bad reasons.
Yes. We'll start off with the, of course, the sad news of Mélanie Dubal, mother of Xavier Couture, wife of, mom to Xavier Couture and Maude Couture, and wife of Nicolas Couture, of course. A team of or a family of scorekeepers that started with us in winter 2021. Always showed dedication to not just the league but football in general, right? Always, happy to be there. Always willing to bail us out in times that we needed extra scorekeepers. Very generous. Very, they're just a football family, and
I'll add on, not just in the Flag Plus community, but also
Right.
in tackle and
Right.
Cougars and everything. Like very
Yeah.
much a community member, and it's very sad to have heard.
Yeah, I saw
Shocking, yeah.
the text Robert sent us on Saturday, and it was shocking. I didn't know. Like, I mean, she went in for an unrelated surgery and stuff, right? So you never expect, you always know that there's a small percentage chance and whatever, but you never expect it to happen because of how infrequently it does happen, right?
Yeah.
So, we wish the best for the Couture family, and it's a difficult time, and nothing, it's not one of these things that ever gets better, right? It just
Yeah.
it just becomes a part of your life. But know that you have the support of the community, and that truly is. We talk about all the time. That's to us, to myself, to Iggy, to Eagle, to all of us that work here. That the communal aspect of what we've become
it's huge.
is the thing that's most important to us, right?
Yeah.
So, do know that you have the support if you need it. We're all here for you.
Yeah. A lot of people came up to me even last night, and I'm like, yeah, they're actually here. Xavier Couture playing with a heavy heart last night at 10:30 at Brossard, and huge interception he got, and the repeat offenders team just lit up. Real tough moment, but playing with a heavy heart, like I said, and he balled out like he always does, and he's gonna continue. He's one of the rising stars in FPF, and he's gonna just be rising the ranks every season.
Yeah, and well said, Iggy. Absolutely, and I'm glad you were there to catch the game, and it must have been a cool moment for him.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, a lot of people came up to me and passed their condolences on over. So yeah, it's like you said, it's a community that cares, and please tackle what you said. Like if reach out if ever you need anything. We're football's family, and we're here.
There is a public visitation on Friday. If you're interested in attending, reach out to the family and they'll give you the details.
Yeah.
All right, a little bit of a somber start. We do, of course, continue on our season. Just some announcements. Of course, I'll do the MoCon thing of just reminding everyone that our finals and playoff schedule are posted on the website. We'll do the usual. Make sure you have your games played. It's starting. The emails are starting to creep in of, hey, I had a guy that.
Here's a bunch of excuses.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I saw from the other side of the field. I'm like, your quarterback didn't have, a number on his jersey. That's why he didn't get the
How
stats.
hard is it
It was
to?
a sub quarterback, and he wanted
I've
the
never
stats.
had a sub
Yeah.
who didn't have a number.
I'm like getting subs for my game tomorrow. I'm like, you have a black
Same.
jersey?
Same. by the
No.
way.
Oh, I'll bring you one. Or yes, I do. Great.
I have
bring
a mass unit tomorrow, and I packed a bunch of extra jerseys in
it.
case.
Yeah.
You know.
Anyways, it happened. So just make sure you are respecting the uniform protocol to get your game played, to get your stats.
Also, uniform protocol for shorts with no pockets, because that happened the other night. That was
Oh
interesting.
yeah, I'm never getting my shorts back.
No.
Uh,
Iggy was a good Samaritan and lent an extra pair of shorts to a gentleman who had forgotten his and got. On
Are
the
you a
field with pockets.
gentleman if you don't return a man's shorts?
Hello, that's directed at you. The question,
Yeah.
not the gentleman part, but just the question.
No. I mean, I want to know.
Yes.
Well, I mean, the gentleman part isn't within the question.
Yes.
I mean,
No.
no,
No.
I can't. If you borrow something and then now there's one thing if you forgot.
I think
and
you-
then-
What
I
are the
think-
cardinal sins of FPF?
think they
Not
probably-
returning shorts,
Now turning
stealing
flags.
someone's F2000.
Mhm.
That's like a mortal
Criminal. Yeah.
sin. Yeah, I like
It's criminal.
as far as I'm concerned,
It's a crime.
like if you were to receive life imprisonment for your entire family for taking an F2000, I think it's justified.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm good with
And number 3, what's you have a top 3 there
it.
of immortal FPF sins?
Yeah, don't be dick.
Don't be dick.
That's the one command. That's FPF's one commandment. But how about don't cost your team a playoff spot multiple seasons in a row by lying and cheating with your roster every
Definitely.
time.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't false. We have a new Gino in town. It seems like
A new
who's
who?
causing a lot of issues with scorekeepers, falsifying players, saying he's number 42, but he's not really number 42. Like we have an up and coming GDF.
Man, and especially with number 42, to take the Montreal Royals' great Jackie Robinson's number and to drag it through the mud. Ridiculous. Eagle, we didn't indicate which topic could be clipped, so if you want to add that to the script, feel free.
I will be doing that, although I do set the expectation that usually Mo is the one that gets thrown off when I say this is a clip or Iggy gets thrown off.
What's a clip?
I said,
What's a clip?
where's the clip? Because
What's
I thought it was a clip that he was posting onto the segment, and the whole goddamn show last week was where's a clip? And
What's
me
a
listening.
clip?
What's a clip? I'm like, oh my god, these idiots here.
The funniest part is our video editor actually was late on his delivery this
Yeah.
week, and I said it's just because it was so complicated to edit because of all the stupidity in the clip we
between.
were trying to make.
Honestly, last week we did him no favors. We our clips were bloated last week.
What's
And a couple of them, Mo and I started arguing in the middle of it.
why is it bloated? Too much beer?
Oh, in my case, that's always the scenario, especially
Okay.
coming out of Saint
There
Jean.
we go. Okay.
Yeah, always.
Too much meta, not enough analysis.
And then last thing, actually, I have a bunch of your teammates' Nike orders, J.S. Rusi and Justin Blanchard, to name a few.
Okay.
So I have their
Are they with or sans pockets?
without.
Okay.
Yes.
At least there's that, because it's
Yes.
the only reason they ordered them.
Some of them had pockets. Ugh, Nike.
But is it user error or printing error?
It was picking error from
Yeah.
Nike.
Ah.
Oh, from Nike.
From
Yeah.
Nike, yeah.
They told us it would be pocketless. Like they advertised.
It
pocketless.
said no. It says on the orders they say no pockets, and
Yeah.
the person who picked the gear for the orders picked shorts with pockets.
They picked with.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Incorrect.
So then it's not Nike's fault. They did
Yes.
exactly what we ordered.
No.
No.
The order says no shorts. Shorts with no pockets.
Uh-huh.
And the person picked shorts with pockets.
Okay.
The person at Nike who picked them to get printed with
Not
our
me.
logo.
Okay. Man, I would murder you at work.
So
Your personas are all over the place.
but
How is he getting confused?
Who picked it?
Obviously Nike.
No, that's not obvious at all.
Why?
You
No,
make
no.
it seem like the guy who goes on the computer selects the option that says with pockets and not without.
No,
the
the-
picker, warehouse.
That's
picker.
not a persona here. The buyer or the supplier?
The supplier.
the warehouse
Thank you.
the warehouse worker who chose them
Jesus
from the
Christ.
wrong pile before they got printed.
Jesus.
So
Not-
yeah, I mean,
So are they going to fix it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. Yes.
or are they going from Air to Nike Freeze?
They're either willing to reimburse someone for you to go and sew them up yourself, or they said, or they said, bring us back and we'll fix it. We'll correct it.
Yeah, look,
You have to
Nike.
bring them back. They're not just going to ship you a new one?
No, we have to return them.
Get the fuck out.
I like that they're that they have such the sort of touch that they think we all have our own sweatshops to sew the shorts.
No, they said
No,
you.
that's just you, Nike.
I'm just like, yeah. Anyways, it will be corrected for those.
Yeah.
But we begin this week's show in Peas.
By the way, buy Nike. Great sponsor. We
Yes.
love Nike.
Go to Sportier for your jersey.
Totally.
Yes.
I've never said a negative word about them on this show.
We'll start this week, Peas and Eagle in Division A. We'll switch it up because we were doing a lot of co-ed.
Did you literally just change the script?
I did.
Yes. Okay.
I moved it around.
He needs more time to
but
think
you're-
about what comes next.
Aren't you the one who decides the order each week?
No, that's I'm the one who updates that. And
Yeah.
Yes, and I didn't update it this week.
Oh, okay.
I just
No, that's
moved
cool.
it around now.
I thought you didn't listen to yourself.
No, I moved it around. Follow
I
the script.
know,
Yes,
I know.
and
I
we're
mean, that makes
starting
two of us,
in
'cause
Division
I don't
A.
listen
I was
either.
confused. Who picked it? Who picked the division?
Oh my God.
Was it Nike?
No, it was Eagle. The supplier. Eagle. Too funny. Division A. Last week you guys spoke about the first seed, Peas.
Yeah. It's most
Uh,
favorite topic.
Yeah. About,
Buys.
Yes, about... No, not buys. The
Well,
first
because
seed.
he asked about first seeds usually because there's buys.
No, but
or
not this time.
Not this time.
There's just a simple 1 through 1v8, 2v7 format. And he seems to think that the 1 seed is a favorable thing, and that like playing against the 8 seed is a worse matchup. But
I don't think it.
I know.
Like
I
I said on
know.
the show,
I know. Yeah.
think it matters this season Div A at all.
Exactly. It was about Div B, but I think the same applies
Yeah.
for Div A. But looking at that number 1 seed, Party Crashers did lose to the All Stars a few weeks back in Laval. But are you giving them a chance here at a real shot at getting the number 1 seed? They do need to win out the rest of their schedule, and they do need All Stars to lose one more game. So is that in the stars and the calling cards for them?
It can be done. I was there for the Party Crashers #NR game.
Yeah.
I know #NR weren't their full roster.
There were 5 players.
There were 5. Corey Pecker wasn't there.
Yeah. Sanders was throwing.
Sanders was throwing.
Joey was snapping.
Yeah. Joey Notaro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't take a ton of stock, except for the fact that, look, they look great. They look good all season. I said my apologies last week to friends if we again had an actual chance to watch them, and
Yeah.
this could have been a great example for the old friends Peter Rears had, and instead was just what he's been doing all season.
You saw it, right?
What?
Like, you saw the difference
Yeah.
here and there?
Yeah, of course.
Like, I'm like, you can literally run all hooks every play. He almost pretty much was.
Yeah.
He's just running all hooks. Like, it's such a boring... I hate games playing against 5. You're just like, I can run all hooks all game. But you have to be so disciplined.
It was a game we started against 5, and I motioned trips to one side each time, just to be a bigger jerk. Just because bring 6 people to the game, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just so...
Capitals did also not take Mitchell, by the way.
Really? We're talking about the NHL draft here, interjecting real quick.
Which you're gonna find out about after the draft.
Yes. Yeah. Which won't
With
matter.
live updates here on Calling the Audible.
So Mo did a wrong thing here again. He said that All Stars would need to lose one game and Party Crashers win out. But even if All Stars lose a game,
I was looking at that.
they still have the tiebreaker over Party Crashers. So that
So All
makes
Stars
it,
essentially have it clinched.
yeah, they have it even more locked up in here. All Stars would have to lose their last 2 games, which just looking.
I
at
mean,
their
I was just trying to
schedule-
use it as an avenue to talk Party Crashers. 'Cause
Well, let's.
I think here's the thing. I think the most valuable seed for a team like Party Crashers is not even the 1 seed.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it could be. It's the 2 seed if All Stars are the 1 seed, because
They only face them
they'll
all the
only
way
face
to
them in the
to
finals. And I don't know about you, given
That's fair.
this version of the roster, right? Where obviously, like we have the typical players like André Van Dram and Fred Dupuis,
Yeah.
Guillaume Paquette's not been on the
LP
team much.
Thibodeau.
Yeah. I think
and then
that
Teifer, yeah.
this unit, if they can go on a playoff run and we can get to see them in the finals against the All Stars,
Mhm.
All
they
Stars
took 'em.
being a little weaker than the finest team or the winter
Oh.
team because of the cap,
Yeah.
right? They're crunched a little by the
Right,
cap.
right.
It becomes an interesting dynamic come final time. But I think that
Yeah.
like that would be that's their hardest matchup, and you don't want that in the first couple rounds. You want
Right,
that
of course.
in
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
in the finals.
I agree with you. So the question should have been, can they hold on to the
And I think they can.
the number 2 seed. Yeah, absolutely. I think, of course,
Bless
well,
Up struggling.
Yeah.
Although Bless Up, they've basically lost by a possession on the final possession every game.
at like almost every game. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jameson's, they're a team that they can beat, but Jameson's look good too. To be
Yeah.
fair.
When they're the full roster,
Yeah.
of course, because it's not obvious. I was gonna say it was obvious, but I ended up playing for the Braves, facing off against the Jamesons,
Okay.
and they weren't their full roster. I'm like, okay, like this is gonna be a really good test to see, like where I rank here. Is Div A a possibility or not? And then there was no James Tyrell, there was no Anthony Brisebois. They were missing huge.
But you
guys.
threw 7 touchavens. So I mean,
Six.
worst case you
Six.
could 6. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Worst case, like you can now move to Division A and be the worst quarterback, even if that was a bad measure. You know what I mean? Like you showed you can hang.
Yes, but the trouble will always be, and we're sidetracking here for a little bit, but trouble will be, and it's always it's the difficulty into getting Division A is having a team surrounding the quarterback with enough players.
I call BS here, and the best example I have is the guy we're just talking about, Jeff Rosenblatt, and the teams that he built with a lot of overtime.
Yeah,
but
there has to be a starting
point, and he was good taking his lumps as not being the top quarterback in the division,
right?
And
or in the top half, yeah,
exactly, and
where he
like
is now.
working his way there, right? And he earned, I think, a lot of respect by doing that, and allowed him the ability to recruit players.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. Now look, All Stars at the number 1 seed right now. They do have back-to-back matchups against Star City, who they do now have the tiebreak over Bless Up. But they do have Bless Up right up against their heels. So maybe Star City play their 2 best games against All Stars. So Party Crashers could potentially get that number 1 seed. But again, I think you're right. Whether it's the 1 seed or the 2 seed, they would end up playing All Stars in the final, and we believe they'll stay there at number 2.
Yeah, and Star City didn't play this week, obviously, but they looked really good in that game against Bless Up.
Yep.
They just, again, if you're not looking at the records per se, but just 2 quality teams on the field, they looked efficient as ever. You know what I mean? So I think it's surprising anyone beats All Stars in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
But that said, like, I can see this going both ways. I can see them taking a win there and then having to play the Braves to really sort of lock in that final game if they need it. But I can also see Bless Up sneaking in because Star City's path to the playoffs here is All Stars, Braves.
Yeah.
It sucks.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's really tough. So speaking of Braves,
So, slight clarification. Philly actually took him at 7th.
Who?
And he never got to Washington Mitchell. I missed the 7th round.
okay,
That's
so
why.
they took
Yes.
him at 7.
I just
yeah.
saw Washington
Okay.
not take it, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, that's
No,
surprising
no,
because
yeah,
Philly took
that's
him
because
first.
Philly,
Yeah. My beat.
So
People watching tomorrow don't care.
So yes, exactly. So speaking of the Braves in there, and looking at the next set of seedings here at 3, 4, 3, 4, and 5, can the Braves? And I don't know why this is a great question because it's really not.
Well, I like that you started by complimenting
Yes,
your own
next
question.
question.
It's not my question. This is Mo Khan's question.
Oh, okay.
This is Mo Khan's question.
Was your question about why their picture is not compliant?
No, it's
All right.
about
I'm just
it's
curious.
about can they get into a top 4 seed? And I think the answer is it doesn't matter.
I think it's a terrible question.
It doesn't matter.
I think
with
it's a
this
terrible
team.
question.
I've come to
Who
learn.
cares?
I've come to learn that
Playoff
honestly
Braves are
they
different from
don't.
regular season
They
Braves.
don't care about the regular season. They obviously they do. They when they show up to the games, they want to win, but they don't care as long as they get in.
Yeah.
And they have enough players of their core that have 5 games or more. They are set to make a playoff run, and they really turn it up a notch once it comes to the playoffs.
Here's the thing. If the Braves have their normal roster,
They're beating everyone.
just the normal roster, and we're talking about seeding here, who's the bad matchup for Braves?
All Stars, and it's
Even
not a
that-
bad, and it's not a
It's
bad
not.
matchup.
It's a coin flip.
Yeah.
So then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It ultimately I guess it's similar to the Party Crashers thing is that if you have to face all-stars, while it's less impactful for Braves than it would be a team like Party Crashers or Jameson's, like you don't want to face them before you get to the finals, right? You want to your reward for beating them should be like a championship, for example.
How about this? I think this is the better question. With them playing so
Ooh,
many.
I like this. So like Mo said, you had a great question, but you have an even better question.
Yes,
so
I
you have
think
the
so.
greatest question of
I
all
didn't
time.
say that.
Well, based from context clues.
Because Mo's are the best questions.
He set up
Elite.
you have an elite question because he set it up where his question was already great. But
Yes,
it was though.
so
He said it. So
He did. I don't
So
know.
ask me your elite question.
Braves are playing a lot of international tournaments in the coming weeks. With international flag in Halifax, and then I believe playing in the USFL or USA, the World Cup of Flag.
Yeah.
They're sending a roster over there as well. Can all the travel, mileage, playing so many games, tournaments, can perhaps that lead to wear and tear?
I think so.
And do less damage than they usually do in the playoffs.
I think so, depending on when the flights are compared to when your game is. I continually forget how tired I get from travel.
It's crazy. It's ridiculous. You're like, it's just a 4-hour flight, but it's like a
But add
13-hour day.
Exactly, because you have to add the hours to get there. Then if anything gets delayed, then if you have to go get your bags, then you have to wait for an Uber to get you to your house.
We sound like super privileged.
I know. Listen,
but like traveling's exhausting.
It is,
especially for work. It's really exhausting.
Oh, since returning to work from lockdowns, if I could opt out of work travel, I opt out. I pass it on to somebody else every time.
Yeah. So do you think that all that wear and tear could negatively impact
I think
them,
but it depends on when.
Or
I don't think it helps at all.
Or can playing such high level competition like the U.S. team and a high level, the best of the best.
That's what you're saying.
And then coming back and playing lesser competition versus that, can maybe where do they stand there? Does it help or hinder them for their playoff run?
I think if you look at it long term from like a holistic
growth perspective,
it helps.
Yeah,
I think it may make the Braves. It's hard to say better because what the hell?
Well, no, because if you take that holistic approach, they're not winning those championships. They're like they're middle of the pack, maybe slightly below
our
average.
Men's teams
That's
don't
crazy.
do what our women's teams do when they go on the road, right? Like that's just not where they're at compared to the rest of the world. But I mean, if you think about that, like the fact that they're going to improve as compared to the level that we see in FPF, that's wild, right? But yeah, I think over time it helps. I don't think it helps short term at all.
Clock, please.
Shit.
We're at 24.
Thanks, Eagle.
So it doesn't help in the short term. You're
Silence
saying
on a podcast.
Not only does it.
You just did my voice. Thank you.
Silence on the podcast.
Eagle, what was that voice? Was it referencing something?
Yeah, it's me being a douchebag.
Oh, I thought you were referencing Iggy.
Yes.
We're saying the same thing.
Spider-Man meme. So
Yes,
I think
short-term.
I don't think it has any benefit short term. I think it only hurts short term because again, the cost, the wear and tear of travel, and like it's a way where you don't think you're tired, right? You don't.
Right.
But like in Division A, if your decision's an eighth of a second late, that's the difference between a touchdown and a pick six. Like that's the entire game at that level.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And if there are people watching from a lower division, just so you know, like the windows as you move up in each division, they close, but nothing is more dramatic than what you see in Division 1, Division A. Like it's insane. The ball needs to be out of your hand immediately.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so like if you can't make those kinds of decisions, and even in coverage, breaking on balls and stuff like that, it's huge. It's
so
huge.
Speaking about those players that make those quick reads, the quarterbacks in Division A, in our early episodes this season, we saw that Kevin Wyeth, the Joe Myers, and the Dan Lazaras had thrown already, I think, 4 or 5 picks, 2-3 weeks into the season. But if we look at the standings or the player rankings right now,
I don't want to click it just yet. I want to play a game with Peas here. Peas, how many quarterbacks do you think have more than 40 touchdowns?
I would say 5.
because he's
cheating.
looking at it.
Well, I loaded the page as we started talking.
Yeah,
about
I know. It's
the
because Iggy was too
Okay.
winded to load up the question. Of course. Because of course.
I probably would have
Word
guessed.
salad.
I would have guessed 3 to 5, like in that range. I
Yeah.
don't know if I would have gotten 5, but
It is surprisingly close. Even all the way down to like top 10 practically. I mean, not the guy in 10th. He's an idiot. But everyone else
What
is
an idiot.
very well. Like, again, 7 to 9, less or 6 to 9, less games played.
yeah.
1 to 5, 8 games. Very comparable in effectively every category.
I knew Wyeth, Dupree, and Rosenblatt had 40. I probably would have guessed Dupree. I don't think I would have guessed Cutler off the top of my head because he's been solid.
Yep.
He's having a really good season.
Top 3 in yards, too.
Yeah.
So who's winning quarterback of the year in Division A? When all is said and done, who's your front runner? Who are you putting money on?
I think it comes down to the remaining games. We said All-Stars on their schedule.
They
Who
have
having?
Star City twice.
So if they have Star City twice, this is going to go one of two ways. Either Wyeth wants to teach them a lesson and play a bomb game, essentially, and just run up the score.
It's still
and
10,
like,
it's still 10 touchdowns. Like
yes.
like worst case is 10 touchdowns, right?
Unless
In one game?
Star
No,
City...
total 6-4, 5-5.
12,
I'm saying
13.
worst case. Like
at worst.
if,
yes,
if
yeah,
Star
yeah,
City
yeah.
wins those 2 games,
right,
he's
yeah.
still throwing 10 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Or Star City wins because they play a clock game. They slow the game down. They drive on them and force them to keep it in the mid-30 range, right? And maybe it's only...
Even then, though, mid-30s is still 10 touchdowns over 2
You
weeks.
still haven't given me a name.
But is that
I'm
enough?
right
Is my point, though, right? Because Party Crashers, Jamesons, Oyam Luminaire, even KGP for that matter,
God damn
might
it.
get more than 10 in those 2 games.
Now I know why I answer my own questions. Because you guys don't give me a goddamn answer. It's Jeff Rosenblatt. He's winning quarterback of the year.
Well, I mean,
you asked the question, so why ask the question? if you know the answer?
Congratulations.
Jeff Rosenblatt.
I-
Tell me why not or why.
So I think if he finishes within a couple of touchdowns of Dupree and Wyeth, and he doesn't throw any
They-
more interceptions.
They have double the interceptions as of right now.
Yeah, but double is like you make it sound like it's 10 touchdowns to 20. It's not that
Still
many.
double.
It's not that many interceptions, rather.
He's completed about 40 more passes than his oppositions. Like,
But
Kevin Wyeth.
that's just the style thing. I don't think that's.
Okay.
He has Party Crashers and Bless Up left on his schedule.
I think he wins quarterback of the year.
So I was thinking, look, I'd love for him to win a quarterback of the year. I talked about him being on
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore, right?
Right, yeah,
Not,
yeah.
not long ago.
Yep.
But the thing is this: while the yards are there, a lot of the measurables are there. If Jeff Rosenblatt, let's say, like, how many touchdowns do you think he finishes the season with?
54, 10 more.
I'd say
54,
52, 54, somewhere in that range. Let's say 52
No.
to 55.
Okay, here's an
Sure.
interesting one, actually. Both Jamesons and Party Crashers both play Bless Up in their last 2 games, and they play each other. So basically, it's whoever plays better in their
And-
matchup,
right.
and then whoever
And
plays
beats
better
up.
against Blessed Up, essentially.
And Bless Up's defense has probably been the issue, right, this season? Like,
Yeah, like I've
They're
been
just-
saying, their Division B team might be better than their Division A team.
I just think that Division B, they're up to the competition where it's Division A. They're a notch below, which I think they kind of knew going into the
Yeah,
season, which
yeah,
is
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, they're still challenging.
But but they still score a lot, and they're losing because they're allowing points, right? So
I'm going to do a quick shout-out here for both Phil Cutler and Corey Pecker. KGP, on their schedule, also have Bless Up, and they have hashtag NR left on it. So basically, the same race. Let me just check hashtag NR as well. They're basically playing the same game, but the lower seeds, essentially, right? So if they do better, so hashtag NR is playing Royal Luminaire. There's a slight outside chance that they just have crazy games and shoot up the rankings again, right? Because Cutler, as much as he has a bunch of sacks against him, his interceptions are also low, and he's only a few touchdowns behind like Dupree and
But
Rosenblatt.
let's say Jeff
enough,
Rosenblatt ends with 54 touchdowns, and Kevin Wyeth ends with 60. Are the interceptions enough to keep
Yes.
Wyeth from winning the
Yes.
the award?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, because
If it's 60
Because-
and 9
no.
versus 54 and 6.
tell me a Division A game where you have 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Is that a good game?
No.
There you go.
Okay.
That's it. Comes down to that.
I guess, but I don't know. It just, to me, like, that said, doesn't it matter to score more touchdowns? You know what I mean? Like, he's responsible for. If that would be the case, he'd be responsible for 36 more points for his team.
At that point,
at least.
At that point, you're deep diving into the extra point converts.
Yeah, I don't like. Look, I think what's interesting is Rosenblatt's made it a discussion, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, we never would think that would be the case
That's
heading into the season, right?
Yeah. So give me a name, goddammit.
Outside chance here, Lazara, 3 games left. He has 32 touchdowns, but 2 on the ground as well. So he's technically at 34. He has All-Stars twice, though, right? That's the thing. So he has to really, if he wants this, he has to play balls out and then do well in their last game as well.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot for Tacos to get there.
But there's a chance.
Look, there's a chance. And we've also seen him put up video game numbers before, too, right? So it's possible. I still think it's likely a 3-horse race. Outside chance of like Phil Cutler, or too far away.
No. He's in the conversation. So give me the one name. Who's winning it?
I don't want to say Frisbee because it's gonna sound like I'm kissing his ass after last week when I apologized to him, which I rightfully should have.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that he's completing 3/4 of his passes.
Yeah.
I think that's relevant. I think that like he's basically playing on par with Kevin Wyeth this season.
Which is crazy, yeah.
Kevin Wyeth. So before I answer, I'm trying to be nuanced, Iggy. I'm trying to provide context for our listeners. Are we saying this only because we're so used to Kevin Wyeth's standard and this season is below his standard?
No, I think everyone else has been playing. It's a combination of both.
Eagle, let me ask you a question. Do you think that's what Iggy's doing?
No.
Oh, all right, cool.
What I'm doing? No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No. Plus, it was most question.
Yeah, I know. But
next question.
I think I'd like to see Rosenblatt. I think it'll be hard for him to wrestle away from Wyeth because I do think Wyeth ends with just about 60 touchdowns.
Okay. I think Jeff Rosenblatt wins it. Moving on to Division C. Division C, P's. If we look at the playoff race right now, bunch of teams with 3 wins from seeds 15 all the way down to 21. Is 4 wins going to be enough to get you a playoff clinch?
God, I hope so. I don't know.
Is 4 enough, or do you need 5?
I think it'll be 4. There's too many teams at 3 wins. And like if you reach
a lot of teams at 4 wins too, which might actually also not be enough, all things considered. Imagine a gigantic tiebreak.
Right, but
there's going to be a big tiebreak. It feels like.
So that's it. Will 4 wins be enough? The answer might be no.
I don't think the 20th team has 5 wins. So
yes, but will
you're saying will 4 wins guarantee you a spot?
But will seeds 21, 22 have 4 wins and not make it?
I can see at least 2 of these teams losing out. You know what I mean? Like I can see. I'm not going to give teams specifically because I haven't looked at schedules and stuff. But
Jesus,
like, would you be surprised that a 3-5 team ends 3-7, or would you be surprised that a 3-4 team ends 3-7? You know what I mean? Like you got to that.
I would, especially the teams that are
like,
there.
I'm not looking at the team specifically because again, you can't say look at teams that are there. There's no bad teams in Division C.
Yeah.
This is Division C is absolutely psychotic. It's absolutely stacked.
It's crazy
in a way I've never seen before. Like, and we'll talk about
like last year.
No, this is hard.
I remember last year being really good, but yes, this year's crazy too. Last
year was just like a slugfest at the top, whereas here it's like
maybe.
I'm not surprised by any result.
I know. Yeah.
Like I was at the Never Overtime
Backyard Bullies
game. We'll talk about it in a second, but watching the game, I was like, "There's no difference between these 2 teams."
Yep.
And I didn't think that heading. I very famously didn't think that at the beginning of the season, right?
Right. Yes.
And so, like I don't want to say this team and this team could go without winning another game because again, I haven't looked at the schedules because there's so many of them, but. Like, given the way Junkyard Dogs has looked at some points in the season, given the way Green Monks have looked at times this season, All Man and again
look insane last night.
But they don't always have the same roster.
With Jack Zergiotis there, they looked insane.
Correct, but he might not be
and
there.
Darius Simmons, they were just a monster last night.
Yeah, yes, with NCAA level talent.
Yeah,
but they don't always have that talent, which is the whole point, right?
But I'm looking at like Trap Stars. I could see them finishing 4 and 6 and not making the playoffs. And that's 4 wins. and you're not making the
are
playoffs.
you transitioning to the next topic about trap stars?
Somewhat.
Okay, so I didn't know if you want to stay on the topic.
Which teams, by the way, if we're
Doing
looking
a
at the
smooth
list,
thing.
which ones would you
It was smooth.
want?
It was good.
Which ones would you want to say out of curiosity? Like from where to where?
Wait,
Give me the theme.
What?
You're
Can
like,
can
I
you
don't wanna
I
name
can you
didn't-
ask a question with more words?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't get it.
Because you said I don't want to say this team or that team, but what range would you start at and would you end at? Like seeds 4 to 22 type of thing. Like where would you kind of be like, oh, I have to question these rosters?
13 to 23.
13 to 23. Okay,
Are
continue.
about the same.
Give me a bit.
What?
13 to 23. Give me a bit.
Give you a
Just
bit?
continue,
Yes, go.
and give me time. I'm setting something up.
Oh, okay. All right. Give me a bit of time. Like,
Oh,
was
yeah,
it so difficult
I
to
thought
just
there was
finish
a
it?
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm like, what's the
I was like,
bit?
did you
What's
have
a
the bit
bit?
prepared?
What's a bit?
What's a bit? So, do you want to move on to the next topic and then we'll come back to it then?
I tried that. God damn it.
Can you also not maybe speak with food in your mouth because you're a podcast host? And Terry Babelas hates it when you do that.
So, trap stars. Are we worried about them, or are we more? Sorry, are we more surprised by their recent struggles, or are we more surprised by never overtime, as you mentioned, beating on backyard bullies? It's not their first win in a long time. They've been on a bit of a roll.
Not necessarily their. To me, it's more about the two teams' trajectories, right?
Right.
Trap Stars was a real the thing with Trap Stars for me was everyone thinks they're going to be Trap Stars every week, right? When you just see the team when they show up to the field, like, who are these kids?
Right.
They're
Sure.
not a big team.
Sure.
They've maybe a couple guys are quick, but they're not like the fastest team either. But they're infuriating, right? Like they're one of those teams that are just gritty and will make you work for everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've tailed off this season. They haven't been that.
Yeah.
They've been sort of a punching bag a little bit. Never Overtime was a team we didn't know a ton about.
Yeah, struggling early on,
but
found they've added some key players along as the season went along through weeks 3, 4, and 5, and they've started gelling together. Ryan Caruth, famous for his deep ball, but also taking the check down options when presented to him.
yeah, and
They've been on a roll.
they've had subs that fit his system, like Nero Suresh when they needed subs. That's just the guy who's played with him before. But guys like Rami Aboud
Yeah.
and Jonathan Francis and Nicolas Pierre-Marseille, I think he's a great match
Yeah.
for Ryan Caruth's offense. The thing is, I played against Never Overtime,
Yep.
and it was a tight game, a game that came down to some late game decision making and all that, and they were just solid. They were just well. They were well run on defense, and on offense they connected. They were able to hit at all three levels. Ryan Caruth finally starting to look the part of what we expected from him when he first arrived into FPF.
So what are we more surprised by?
I'm more surprised by Trapstars collapse because having played both teams, Trapstars again, they still even though we beat them this season, it felt like this was one of these games that just like, man, if I make one mistake, this goes sideways, right? Whereas Never Overtime, I was just all game long, I was like, man, like these guys are good. I gotta I legitimately have to be perfect. I gotta do everything I can to be competitive. The defense can't let up, and they just take advantage in anything you give them. And then Trapstars again, they just went from being this plucky team to not being that. Now, if I could go to Never Overtime for a second, specifically Backyard Bullies game, like they were getting away with clutching and grabbing on, especially like not necessarily short routes, but intermediate, deep routes, just interrupting the timing.
Late, yeah.
Yeah, and essentially what we saw a lot of, and a lot of it came on converts as well, was the rush of Nero Suresh would get to Sean Avram. And Sean Avram is really great at throwing like in rhythm.
Interceptions.
No, but he's great at basically leading his receiver, hitting the hole in the defense before the receiver gets there, allowing the receiver to run and get to that spot. But but between the clutching and holding and the rusher being really on his shorts, having him throw force balls off his back foot. I saw an interception. The only interception he threw was in the red zone. Olivier Sabrin came up with it. 2 of his convert attempts, I believe, were intercepted while I was there, and it was all the same thing. Whereas Sean Abram putting it up to the spot he thought would be open, but the receiver got there with the defender, who was basically playing physical and getting to the spot with the receiver, and Sean Abram not being able to see the field because the rush was on him.
Yeah. And just quickly on Sean Abram, he's great at hitting the first and second option, and when it comes to that third, if it's wide open, great, he'll hit it, but that ball's lobbed in there.
But especially if, again, I think it's because the rusher interferes with the footwork.
Yeah. But in the context, I can totally see it. If a rusher's right on him, and if that third read, there's a defender right on the hip of the receiver, and he's lobbing in a ball, that's where it gets PD'd on 4th down or intercepted on 3rd or 2nd down. And
the opposite was true for Ryan Caruth, who just stepped into every throw.
Right.
Dude, he had 2 incompletions the entire game.
Wow.
21 and 23.
That's very, and I'm glad that's the case, but that's very unlike the Ryan Caruth that we know, right? He's always, completing 56% of his passes. For him to only go and miss 2, that shows an improvement on his part.
And because we never corrected the QBR formula, it's only 148.3 and not 158.3.
Nice.
But the thing is,
that's actually incorrect. It could be 158.3.
What do you mean?
I'm looking at it. It's 148.3.
Yeah, you can get 158.3.
You can.
Yes.
I'm saying if we adjust for the yardage on our field, he probably has a perfect
that's what you
quarterback
mean.
rating.
Yeah, no. We just stole the NFL one.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's not relevant. So the thing with Ryan Caruth, honestly, it's the opposite of what you were saying about Sean Abram, is that his ability to pivot. A lot of times, I literally would see. Look to the right side, for example, read 1 and 2 not there, have a late breaking in, hit that on the backside. Really just what you want in terms of competent quarterback play, not just delivery of the football, but also decision making, top to bottom, great game from him.
Speaking of common quarterback play, the commission played a very tight game Monday night at Stade de Montréal.
Mm-hmm.
And where they saw Carmen Police suit up for them once again, his 3rd game of the season. They have 2 games remaining, so he can reach that 5-game plateau to be playoff eligible. Pete, could they be serious threat with Carmen Police in the playoffs with him at quarterback?
I'm smiling because you cleverly reworded the question so that I'd be able to answer it.
Yeah.
I mean, guy is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm shocked he's able to throw in Division C.
Oh, rating wise, yeah.
Like if you can have Carmen Police throw for your team, why not? It's like saying, hey, would you like me to deposit $1,000 into your account? Sure.
81.9 QBR.
I mean,
on a 82 cap division, 81.9, 82.
Seems very, very suspicious, right?
Yeah.
It seems like the person who made not the person, but the committee members who made the decision don't have a lot of history and understanding of the history of FPF.
Right.
Because he's one of the most accomplished quarterbacks in FPF. And I don't think Carm's lost his fastball at all. He's one of these guys who just, not to the same extent as Kevin Wyeth, because he's never been as good as Kevin Wyeth, but similarly, Carmen Police has never gotten particularly worse at playing the quarterback position, in my estimation. I think he's still a guy who would throw in Division B and be one of the better quarterbacks, and would not be out of place throwing in Division A.
So where does that rank the commission? How far could they go in the playoff run with him at quarterback?
In
3 rounds, 2 rounds, finals?
Finals is a tough. I mean, to me, it depends a lot about the path to the playoffs. Commission are not a perfect roster by any stretch. At the same time, he's top 3 quarterback, and if you think the best quarterbacks win in this division, like maybe top 5, like
so I'll say this:
quarterback play, like he's the top tier of quarterback play.
Right. So I think with their original roster, I think they could win a first round playoff matchup and probably lose out in the second round. I think with Carmen Police, he gives them an extra round victory, getting them to the
you don't think they're actually
semifinals.
A finals contender with Carmen Police on the roster?
No, they're a contender, but I think in the end, when all is said and done, they could go 3 rounds deep. They could go to the finals. They could. I'm going with percentages and likelihood, probabilities. I could see them making it to the semifinals, 3rd round, and just he doesn't have, at one point. Yes, you have a top 3 quarterback. You need the offensive weapons around you to beat out the
defenses. I think it
defenses.
matters less for him because of his play calling, his intelligence. Like, dude, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception through 3 games.
Yeah.
He has essentially the same quarterback rating as Jules Regenbald, playing a completely different style. Just being the absolute, like, prototypical flag passer, just the triple slants and the offset hooks and all the things that the sort of old guard of FPF have gotten to their level of success with. He's still doing that at the highest level.
You have a wheel. We have a wheel segment.
Yes, of course.
Because what? Do you love running the wheel route or what?
Oh yes. I look. I don't know exactly what this is, but I already love what this is.
Oh, you know what this is. You said 13 to 23. There's potentially the teams you would pick between, and I said we don't have enough time to cover all 10.
Right.
But let's let RNG pick
It
the
is
one.
It is a bit. It is a bit.
Welcome,
The end, it was a bit.
welcome to the bit. Oh my God! Oh! And what about LBB?
Well,
I-
talk about.
That
LBB?
was so close
Oh,
to
I
being
know.
hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I just would have recused myself from the conversation.
So what about LBB?
So, are they one of the teams that may not make playoffs with their schedule at 4 wins?
I think they have a tough road ahead. They played the Commission, who we just spent an hour talking about as Eagle got the wheel ready. And they get Top Season, who I think are specifically a bad matchup for them.
They lose both.
I think they lose both. I don't think they have the athleticism to match Top Season. I don't think they have.
That's closer than you think, actually. It's
don't.
closer than you think.
Why?
Because they actually do have, and you've said it before, with Minton Tat.
Yeah, he's on the roster this time for a full season.
Like I could see as good as Ryan McGrath is and that connection with his brother Sean at quarterback. I think
he'll take him away.
Yeah, I think and when that gets taken away, then Guillaume Hamelin is a very good athletic defender that could match up against Hassani Worrell, for example.
It's
can
more
see them.
defensively. Offensively, I don't know if Olivier Piloto can be decisive enough,
right?
To where he doesn't have guys who automatically win matchups athletically.
Yes, their
offense?
LBB offense against against the top season defense. But I
think the top season defense is too athletic for the LBB offense.
Yes,
is what I meant to say.
Correct. I would agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. Finish your thought.
And I think they'll struggle to score on pace with Karmpelic in the Commission.
Yes. Yeah.
Because Karmpelic is going to go score 6 out of 7 drives every game
with 2-pointers in there that they just won't be. That the LBB is not comfortable enough going for and catching up that way.
I spent all this time making the wheel, so we're going to do one more, but make it quick afterwards.
Very loud.
Ta-da! Just
I
make
knew
fun
it.
of Mo. This is great.
This is awesome because the reason why Mo's gonna say this was a 4-hour show, it's not because of me, it's because of things like this.
Oh, is it because of fun? Are you against fun?
Yes, Mo just doesn't like having fun. He wants
true.
to just wrap things up in a untimely or very timely manner in this case. So yeah, we're just making fun
I'll
of
say
Mo.
this about Mo has no chance of making the playoffs ever again.
Yeah.
The reason why is not because he hurt his finger. That was an excuse. What was really hurt about Mo was his ego, and that's why he's not returned to playing FPF.
And there's just too much wind outside, outdoors, and he can't run his
I've
best
often
40.
heard that wind only affects Mo Khan.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what he is good at is making you a worse quarterback, as we discussed last week.
Oh, yes, yeah. With his advice, I statistically have done worse.
Yeah, I love that.
But no, he's done better. But he's done better. I mean, I've been at the game.
But it's the old broadcasting trick of they listened to me, so they got better. Like, I at no point think that the words I say on this show help anyone at any point.
They're just your
They're
thoughts.
just words on a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and especially not something as obvious as you got to be more confident.
I'm so happy that worked out because I put it there for the shenanigans.
awesome. Oh, you didn't
This is
plan
not
it?
rigged. It
I
was
thought
just
you rigged it.
pure
Yeah,
RNG.
luck. Yeah.
That was a 1 in 11 chance, and we hit the jackpot, boys.
So when I was here with Mo, I apparently I forgot about it already, but I apparently proclaimed that in Division E, Minkia FT were the false kings of the division, and I do recall, however, perhaps going through their schedule and going through their matchups and going against Houday, and I said, no, Houday is going to wreck this team, or at least beat them. And yesterday at Brossard, Minkia...
Did they wreck them or at least beat them?
No. Minkia did come out with the victory. I had Justin Neme come up to me and be like, "So false kings, huh?" I'm like, "So you won?" He's like, "Yeah, we won." I'm like, "That's awesome."
It's a weird game to pick the spot because
14-13 score, I think.
But I'm like, okay, Houday, that's all they play is those weird tight games. But like, I mean, they haven't been exactly lighting the world on fire either.
Houday?
Yeah.
Well, they're
They've
top of
been
the
solid.
division. They're top of the division.
I mean, okay, but have you watched them play?
I have, and
Okay.
they look
competent.
more competent than your regular Division E team. Whereas Minkia, they looked like running their offense through molasses a couple times, like teams that they
just playing in a sandbox kind of thing.
Yeah, like yes, they had a big win over Bloodline, but then there were just some games, I believe it was one of the Texas, either Chooches or Wales, where they should have blown them out of the water, and it was like a 20-6 game for the longest of time. They couldn't get in rhythm. So the way they came into that Houday game,
It was 27-12, by the way.
27-12. Yeah, but they got that score very late, so it was like 20-12, 20-6 for a very long time in the game. They're, like I said, offense seemed to go through molasses, and I just saw Houday's offense really rolling and scoring 30, and I didn't think they would be able to keep up. They proved me wrong. Their defense stood tall against an experienced quarterback, and look, so the question is, are they false kings?
I mean, look. So first of all, as a point of clarification, false kings does not mean you're a bad team. It
Right.
just means you had an easy schedule.
Yeah, up until now, right?
So until now, they have been. And looking at the remainder of the schedule,
They still-
false kings, Minkia FT.
There you go.
Change your team name to Minkia FK because you are false kings.
Okay, you heard it now from a second source here on CTA.
I feel it's the most misunderstood term in all of the things that we do and all those stupid bits that we have. It's the most misunderstood thing.
Even there's some negative connotation about it.
Yeah,
that
even
makes
though it's
you,
something you can't control.
yeah, it's literally an algorithm from a computer
Yeah.
that spit it out.
And it's only like relevant, let's say, in the bottom 3 divisions where the divisions are so large
Right.
that you could have a week schedule, right?
Yeah, because look, Granddaddy Perp, they're going to beat up on, but that's the thing. I want to see them beat them 50, put up 50, right? They haven't scored more than, again, okay, look, you know what? To be
60
fair,
against Bloodline.
yeah,
They scored 48 against Habitation
Yeah.
OBR.
yeah,
32 against Texas Chooches. So they've had 3 30-plus games, which is not enough because, again, think that in the playoffs you need 30 points
Right.
to win
yes,
every time. So
yeah.
it's not enough, but it's not incompetent either.
The two matchups in their schedule that I wanted to see them come out victorious, scoring 30 points, was Primetime and Meat Lovers. And in both of those, 24 and 26.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's not good enough. And I can see a similar scoreline in a playoff game where they needed that extra touchdown, that extra convert, and they didn't get it.
I will say this about them. I do like, once you get past their top 2 scorers, you got Jack Kirkland, Anthony Marachi, Jeremy Nathaniel,
Yeah.
Michael Noodle,
There's a
all
lot
of them
of
putting up
depth.
3 touchdowns.
There's
right?
a lot of depth, yeah.
And then Juliano Volante and Matthew J. Didn't practice your name for the show, bro.
Januszewski.
There we go, Januszewski. I hope it's right. Let's just go with Matthew J. forever. That's his name now. Just
No,
like,
that was like Mike B. for
that's how
Bad-
you became Iggy Magnus, is we couldn't pronounce your name live.
It's true. Yeah. It was like Mike B. It's Badababungi.
Yeah. Yep. That's who you are.
Mike
That's a credit to Adam Mantel's growth at quarterback too. Is that he
Sure.
feels that he can put up points with any of the receivers in the huddle. I know he has the main two, but he doesn't feel the need to force it to them, and I think he's getting better over time.
And I was looking at his, because 30 to 10, INT, TD to INT is
Fine.
all right. It's okay for
It's
Division
the
E.
beginning of passable.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. What worried me a bit more was 1,000 yards in 8 games. Now, I was looking at their, why is that exactly on a whim? They do have 9, 11, and then plus 4, so 15 interceptions. So he is working probably with shorter fields, and
probably a lot of, because they're false kings and they had an easy schedule, they're probably playing short fields as well because of 4 and outs.
that's what I'm saying.
On top of the interception.
Right, exactly. So the yardage I can somewhat see. Again, they're gonna. I want to see in the remaining games, because they're not gonna have the playoff competition necessarily. Sorry to finish off the season. I want to see them score 40 in both of their next 2 games.
Yeah, I wanted to see if we had a stat for average starting position because we have that per game, but we don't really have that season long.
So one of those 2 games that I said that I wanted to see them come out victorious was prime time. Between them and show them TDs, are we starting to have concerns with either of those 2 teams not bringing more dynamic or dynamism to their offense?
You're talking specifically about primetime
and show them TDs. Yeah.
I mean, primetime I think has been a version of what we thought they'd be.
With a new quarterback
With
in the
a
rotation, yeah.
New quarterback is going to take them a little bit, but generally when they're at their best, they're just really good defensively, and they have been.
Right, but that's
13 sacks, a lot of interceptions.
right.
They've allowed themselves to win close games, and if we look in their last 4 games, they've scored 27, 43, 32, 32. So only 1 game under 30 points scored.
So sure, in recency, but if we bring up the standings, Eagle, they kind of stand out in seeds 7 and 8, both teams here, with about 180, 187 points. Whereas the rest of the teams, sure, they've played 8 or 9 games, but everyone's in the 200 crowd already, right? So,
But also their points against are very low, all things considered, too.
sure, but again,
And I think like primetime, we knew they'd be a better defense than an offense. At no point did we think they were going to be an offensive juggernaut.
they do have the offensive weapons, though. They have the speed, they have the hands, they now
But
know the flag game.
They do, but Matthew Cadigan's still new at quarterback, and he's been good. He's been good.
Yeah.
But good is not great, and he could step up a little bit. And I think he will if he continues to be the quarterback. But primetime, it feels like they're changing quarterbacks constantly. Like, have they ever had a season with the same quarterback for back-to-back seasons?
It's in Division D now with Stallions with Daniel Spina, right? But otherwise in Division E, yes, it's been a rotating.
I'm saying
cast.
like their primetime roster.
Yeah, it's been a rotating. Well, with the primetime roster has been Daniel Spina, but yes, in Division E specifically or Division 6, it has been a rotating cast of characters. Which of the 2 teams, though, Pease, do you trust more to get your golden standard of 5 TDs between show them TDs and primetime? Because I think it's primetime. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, I don't know. I don't think you're wrong. I think you're right.
Okay.
I think Matthew Cadigan.
I was only giving you one avenue, and you slipped out of it.
I can't falsify my
Your own kingdom.
Yeah, exactly. No, I can't make up a rationale if I don't see it. Right, like Daniel Caruana is turning over the ball way too often.
Yeah.
He's not completing enough passes. He's just completing slightly over half of his passes.
Yeah.
That means you're usually not converting on 4 downs, right? Like, so it makes it really difficult to be competitive. Quarterback rating is 78.6. Like, he's gonna need to be carried by his defense at this point, and the defense is good. But we've talked about it before. I know Peter Abandonado's put up 5 interceptions. I know Dennis Kutuvas has 5. Jay Yanakoulias has 5. Like, that's a ton of interceptions from 3 guys.
Yep.
But when you get to the playoffs, you're playing the better teams who are less prone to turn the ball over. So it's not a sustainable way to win. It's not a way for a team to actually win a championship. You need to score points.
Right.
We've seen it for as long as we've covered FPF.
And then last to wrap up here in Division E, we took a look at Division A's quarterbacks. Let's go down the rounds in Division E. Take a look at the quarterbacks here. We did have a stardom, sit-em, bench-em segment a few weeks back in Division E. Who's your favorite right now to win quarterback of the year in Division E?
I think we did this recently.
Well,
Division E
Mo, thank you.
specifically.
Look, no quarterback has more than 36 touchdowns. That's Manny Bazogias at number 1. All three.
Also 9 GPs, though. Can you keep that in mind?
Right, true.
He also has 3 rushing touchdowns.
The top 3 quarterbacks have all thrown double-digit interceptions in Marty Friedman, Adam Mantel, and Bazogias.
Double-digit interceptions isn't huge in Division E, though, because a lot of guys will do it.
Right, but guys like Matthew Cadigan with primetime at 6 games played has 5. Antoine Meunier has 5.
The games played is going to be an issue for Matthew Cadigan because
Yeah.
he didn't start as the quarterback.
True.
Antoine Meunier is a little behind the pace when it comes to touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I think Trailer Park Boys played an extra. I think he missed a game also.
And forfeits and not showing up.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
It was a forfeit. That's it.
2.
2. Well, there you go. So you cost yourself an award at that point.
You should be eliminated from. You should be exempt from winning
Yeah.
an award with.
You know what? I'm
2
if your
plus
team
forfeits.
if your team forfeits one game, you can't win an award.
Yeah.
That's it. Plain and simple.
You won an award, the forfeit award.
I like Marty Friedman. I just think he'll catch up to Bazogias, and I think he'll protect the ball a little bit better. Just the fact that Adam Mantel's in this conversation, by the way, really impressive from where he was a couple of seasons ago.
Well, he's always been there around that 3-to-1 TD to INT ratio. It's
I
just,
guess,
yeah.
but it just I don't know. It feels maybe just the is he playing up to the competition, or is the competition now playing down to him?
A bit of both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit of both.
Because I saw him play earlier in the season, and I was impressed with what I saw compared to previous seasons. But again, that's just one game sample size, right?
Yeah.
It's the problem with having a league so big and not every game being on film.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm gonna favor Marty Friedman of Hail Marty's personally.
Yeah.
Although again, Manny Bazogias' rushing TDs do help.
Yeah, there's
do
3
make
more
this
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, there's that extra game that Marty Friedman may or may not have in his back pocket. They also won a game by forfeit. I believe it was against Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
So there's 1 game less for Marty Friedman
Any dark
to put up
horse?
stats. I like your dark horse. Well, is Adam Mantel a dark horse? He's in that top 3 conversation, so no. But perhaps Fabrice Tremblay of Cover 3 Inches Long.
I would have liked if he played the whole season, Justin
Mhm.
Schwartz of FSU,
Okay.
because he's got some running touchdowns also, but
Right.
he's only played 5 games. The team only has
Yeah.
2 left.
17 TDs though.
Yeah, but
Even at that.
I guess.
Even
yeah.
in
No,
5
but he
games.
has I think 5 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah. So 22 and 5, so about 4 TDs a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could. Yeah,
It's on pace
prorated.
with who's there,
Prorated.
right?
Yeah,
Like-
that, fair enough.
Yeah, he
Yep,
has five rushing touchdowns, 221 yards
fair
on
enough.
only 18 attempts. By the way, it's not bad.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, 1 out of every 3 times you're running, you're scoring almost. So
Yeah, I think Marty Friedman's your leading candidate there. I think a 6 TD game kind of solidifies it for him.
Yeah.
Move on to co-ed. Co-ed's 2 and 3. Peas, you finally had yourself a great week in co-ed, but we'll get there in a second. We'll start with
thanks, bud.
with your opponent.
Thanks for your support, man.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
We'll start with your opponent, though. Street Runners, the second of your back-to-backs this week. They had their best offensive showing with AAR at quarterback, Abdel Rahim.
Nice.
I did what you do. Got to
Yeah,
learn.
you got scared name, man. It's okay.
Abdel
Rahman.
Rahim,
Yeah.
unless you misspelled
No.
it. Unless Eagle did the thing where
That's
he...
his first name. Abdurrahman.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I was going with his last name.
Yeah.
Abdel Rahim at quarterback. We spoke a bit about his run and gun style. Is that perhaps the answer and the Hail Mary, so to speak, for their last remaining chance to really squeak into the playoffs? Can that run and gun offense catch teams off guard a little, like they caught you off guard?
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
We took the field with 5 minutes and 5 plays remaining, and
Down.
down 6.
Down
and I
6.
told my team we can't give them the ball back.
Right.
And my only attempt,
And why is that? Because 7
they
completions.
completed 7 passes
Yes.
and scored 33 points.
Yeah. 6 TDs then? 6 TDs on 7 completions?
5 TDs.
So how'd they score 30? Yes, 5 times 6.
TDs.
Yes. Yes.
Is
I
how.
can't do my math. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the quarterback ran a lot.
Right.
It was a lot of running, and when he wasn't running, he was throwing deep balls.
Right.
And deep balls on the run.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
was impressed with his arm,
Mhm.
not just power, but like he threw a
Accuracy.
nice ball, and it's not really accuracy. He just threw with a lot of touch, where guys were able to run under it and catch it, because they have a couple of really quick guys on the team. If you look at Augustin Donald, who
Subbing. I believe.
subbing,
Yeah.
sure, but he was really good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. He's great. He's a great player.
And Darryl Charles, who not only picked 6 me, but also caught a deep ball for a touchdown as well. Yeah, I think it gives them a facet that just makes them a little different from a lot of teams you see in co-ed. I do think that makes them very matchup prone. If you have a really good rusher and
Safety.
if you have a good safety and a good rusher, you
It's
should
good,
be able to
yeah.
manage them better. But yeah, we didn't try to score in earnest till the second last play of the game. I took forever on that drive.
Right. Yep.
Because I told the team, like, we cannot give them the ball back.
There you go. That now that you preempted exactly that. Your story is that you really didn't even want to leave them one play. You
We literally, I tried to score in the second last play and then finally in the last play. Those are the only 2 shots at the end zone.
Yeah.
And
and
that's
you
it.
did.
Yeah.
Yes,
On
you
last
did.
play.
And you got the convert as well for your second victory of the week. Now, can they though pull off the smash and grab as our colleague here, Mo Khan, loves to say? Can they squeak into the playoffs? Look, they have 1 win on the season right now. They're chasing plenty of fish who have 3 wins. So, and these 2 teams do face off against each other. So,
I don't think they'll beat plenty of fish.
okay. So,
Because
don't know.
Maud Lacasse is a very surgical quarterback.
Yeah.
And I think that the defensive woes are going to be an issue.
Exposed.
Yeah, it's they don't mix the coverage a ton. You kind of know what they're going to do from pre-snap. Maud Lacasse reads a defense better than I ever can dream to. So I think it'll be a rough game for them.
And then you have
and
Seth
if they kiss
Kalina.
my end zone also.
Oh, yeah. Yes, true. Yep.
Yeah.
No, that is Street Runners. And then you have the defensive mind of Seth Galina.
Yeah, Seth Galina's a really good defensive play caller,
Yeah.
and every time I watch Plenty of Fish play, aside from the game I played against them, I've seen them play now I think 3 times, and I'm always impressed by how variable their defense is because you don't see that a ton in co-ed.
Yeah. And the 2 recipes for really to stop their offense, you said it, rusher in Julian McLaren Thompson.
That's crazy guys.
And safeties in Seth Galina if Jamie Ojea is there subbing again for them, Dylan Taylor and
Dylan Taylor is competent. I think he's the wrong kind of safety unless he really bails deep constantly.
Right, exactly. But
you know.
they're smart enough and
They'll,
now,
but they'll
yeah.
find ways to trick the quarterback.
And then I believe the talent of their women on Plenty of Fish greatly outweighs that
Yeah.
of Street Runners. So I think they just win across the board.
But I was impressed by them overall. Like I want to say this, like of the bottom half of the division, Beeftons really look just like the
Beat up.
inexperienced. They don't really understand how to apply like FPF concepts offensively or defensively. Massans Vitesse, similarly,
Yeah.
they're just going to be very inconsistent. And they're like basically teams will score at will against them.
Those 2 teams now officially eliminated
Yeah.
from the co-ed 2 playoff line. Street Runners, we believe they're not going to make it. So Block Party
What part is a chance?
is the team that still has a chance. But Pease, now that you finally it seems at least that with Never Too Late, you finally have been able to implement your offense. The team's starting to click with 2 victories, like we mentioned at the top of the segment. Are you ready now to do some damage in the playoffs, or how do you see your fate going down in co-ed?
I mean, I think it was important to win those 2 games.
Huge,
right? Like,
huge.
It was a big stretch of the season. And I always forget that it's not as intuitive as I think to install my offense on a new team.
It's not,
because of all the spacing and timing and like just even the verbiage when I say bubble hook. JS2C knows exactly the spot that I mean, but not every new snapper does, and it does take a minute. Yeah, I think the team's super talented, and so far, when we haven't been competitive, it's been me letting them down.
It's been on you. You know it, and I'm not shying away at it at all. You know, it's been on you.
Yeah,
you've thrown timely interceptions that have gone for pick sixes.
There's 2 games where I've played the worst I've played in a long time. Yeah. And then the game against Easy Fun, I gave them a win.
Oh, that sucks.
That was a win. That was a win for us, and I gave them the win.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like it's I was brought on there to be the leadership, and instead what's been cool is they've helped me get to a point where I can help them, and it's on me to find ways to best use the talents of people like Victor Nolain, Phil DeKinzio, and Arian Branco, and my sniper Penelope, I know, has been amazing.
57 targets. She's the most targeted receiver on your team. And yeah,
Shocker, right? My sniper's the most targeted receiver.
Exactly. And I love exactly that, the depth that you're showing on the offensive side in Nolain de Quinzio with 170 plus yards already on the season, and of course sandwiched in between you got Will Paquette and Eric Deschambault, who are ballers on both sides of the ball.
And the thing is, like with regards to Victor Nolain is a guy I had a hard time gauging his speed, and so like that's a good example. Like how it took me a second to get there with the receiver, and he had a great game last night.
Yep.
So I did want to make it more about them than I know you phrased the question about me, but I did want to make it more about them because they're a team I joined. You know what I mean?
Right,
so like
yes.
it was about me finding the way to fit in.
Right.
And I feel as though the last couple of games kind of felt that way. And like having the game on the line and having to drive the field with 5 minutes, that's me. That's the thing I want to bring to the team.
Exactly, yeah.
Like I'm not going to panic in that scenario, and that it was finally a moment where I felt as though I can live up to what they need from me.
Yeah. And a big win against Deep Balls as well.
Fun game too.
Yeah.
You were there for that one, actually.
I was, yes. I did catch that. Going from one calling the Audible member to another, let's analyze here in Co-Ed 3.
Just want to point out there wasn't a lot of Co-Ed games this week.
Yeah.
Meaningful Co-Ed games. So it does fall on us just by virtue of context.
Yeah. But let's take a look at, I know you guys took a look last week, but, the playoff landscape shifts from week to week. Free agents got a big win on Monday night at Marie Victorin against Catching W's. So, Peas, let's take a look at their schedule. Let's look at their playoff chances now that they beat Tigres, got their second win of the season on Monday night. Tigres, Michael Scott's thoughts. Let's look at that dotted line.
I do want to bring up something from Catching W's.
Yes.
Eagle told the story off air, so I'm going to ask him to bring it on air.
Oh.
It was risky because I probably should have cleared it first. But whatever, Eagle. If you don't want to answer it, don't. But it's more fun if you do, because I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it into a negative way. I'm not going to take it into a negative area. So, I saw a lot of the Catching W's free agents game. Iggy, you were there too. From what I saw, Giordano D'Amico, the quarterback of Catching W's, was just continuously throwing the ball into deep coverage. You were running cover three the entire game, Eagle. You intercepted him 4 times.
No, not me. Dallas Oda.
No, not you specifically. I mean,
or rather, the same person in the same spot intercepted him 4 times.
Yeah. Yeah, because it could have been anybody. But so a quick. I just want to mention here when you're talking about Giordano D'Amico, you went to see him after the game to tell him like, hey, so this happened.
And just to be clear, because some people might think I'm a dick, which I am, but not in this context. Peas and I try and help out as many teams as possible here, and it was one of those scenarios of, well, if you're gonna keep doing the same thing, then I'm gonna keep doing the same thing because I'm coming out ahead on all these plays. So I win, right? Do something different and make me adjust. If not, I'm gonna keep doing it because that's what's happening.
So what'd you tell him?
So I told him hey, I'm playing a cover 3 defense. You could have just checked down all game and just driven the field. Like all hooks would have been open and the whole thing. He goes, Well, I was throwing deep because that's all I had. And
So, but like I imagine it differently, and this is what I want to like. Imagine you go up to him, and you say like, "Hey, dude, man, you could check down. Like you just kept going deep," and he took off his sunglasses and says, "It's all I have, man."
I mean, it was
Not that like, not that it's all he had based on defense, because that's not what he had. But like, it's all he has in his soul is to be
Yeah.
able to throw deep.
which
like,
is interesting.
I'd love that.
Their play design has a lot of like wildcat halfback style plays and everything. The bubbles, the shifts, the like the roll to one side. Which kudos to you. Like if you have plays specifically designed for that, sure. But all it seems is that you're trying to set up
You're buying
everyone
time
to
so you can
like
throw deep.
yeah. You're trying to force people to play the run bubble play and then just go over their heads, but when they don't bite, you just throw it anyways over their heads. Like I don't get it. So cool play design, a little bit caught off guardy. Granted, not that I haven't seen it before, but yeah, it's a common trend in the lower divisions where you see teams not adjusting when you really should.
Eagle, there's a player on your team who's my soulmate, just based on name alone. Anthony Mustache.
Yes, he's
That's the
great.
greatest name. He's a really good player, by the way. Just having seen him play, he's a lot quicker than you'd think when you see him. Really good ball skills too, and ball in the air.
Yeah,
So,
actually, and we'll wait for Iggy to get back from his bathroom break here as I reset
We need to
the
get a
topic
one
up.
shot, by the way, for when one of us goes to the washroom. We don't have an empty chair.
Oh yes.
Can we get that asset built in?
I can probably get it done.
Thank
You
you.
didn't put Moke on?
No, I didn't get a chance. I was too busy talking.
heard
You
you.
were there for the Anthony Mustache scoop.
Yes.
What mustache are we talking about?
Not mine. Anthony Mustache, the player on Eagles team.
Yeah,
The deep routes where he DK Metcalfed the ball.
No, I did
Pure
not
stride.
see-
Oh,
did
it was
not
I
so
saw
good.
it. I was
It
there
was
for that.
so good.
Nice. That's awesome.
Anyway,
He,
so
he
yes.
looks really good.
Back to our schedule. That was the whole idea behind
Yeah.
this. There's 1-9ers and Dream Killers left.
So you likely lose to 1-9ers, and the matchup that I think you have a very good chance of being a very competitive game with Dream Killers. I think you can come away with a one possession or 1 point victory or 2 points. That one's going to come down to converts.
So if that happens, there's a possibility of like a 4
you-
or maybe
you-
5-way tie type of thing,
You-
depending on what happens in some of these games.
So you would finish 3-7,
Yep.
and then Tigres have 3 wins. You would have the tiebreaker on them.
Yep.
I
But-
think the free agents win out.
You think they beat 1-9ers?
No, sorry. I don't think they win out. I think they lose to 1-9ers, but I do think they beat Dream Killers.
Yes.
As I think the Naomi Fortin-Hubertoise makes too many mistakes, and
Yeah.
Eagles defense
Is
It's
getting it now.
it's getting it, and like Eagle calls a defense to capitalize on mistakes, right? So I just think it's a bad matchup for Dream Killers, and they've scored. They scored a little more than free agents because they've played one last game and they have the same amount of points for in 115.
Right.
But I think free agents are
Oof.
starting to get it where Dream Killers are just kind of the same.
So I like free agents' chance here. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking they would finish 3-7. Tigres have a really tough schedule to end. They end with Thunder Buddies
Yeah.
and Drink Team, two of the
Well-
top 4 teams in the division.
Yeah.
So I think they finish 3-7 as well. Free
Yeah,
agents
they're-
have the tiebreaker
they're-
if it was head to head.
They're in scheduling hell because you can't spell hell without ending with 2 L's.
And the other team would
What if you
be
use ones?
What?
What if you use ones like 11? HG11?
right. Then the
Yeah, I guess that's dumb.
The other team that could be in a 3-way tiebreak would be catching W's again.
And they have that type. They have the head-to-head.
Yeah,
They'll have the head-to-head against catching W's against Dream Killers.
and catching W's are playing Le Crevette, a middle of the pack team right now in Co-Ed 3, and Drink Team, a real number 3 team right now.
Who haven't lost the game yet, by the way.
Yeah, so I like free agents' chances of making the playoffs here.
Yeah, I don't think their team will do any damage in the playoffs, but I do think that they'll get there.
So that was the bottom of the standings here and the last playoff spot. The playoff format, P's, in Co-Ed. You have
we didn't. We didn't do Div D there yet, right?
Oh crap.
Did we?
Oh no, we didn't. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. The top 6 seeds receive a bye. Who are those teams by when the regular season ends? Who are those top seeds that are going to get buys?
It's kind of cool because with so many teams getting a bye, it kind of feels like the first round is a play-in round.
Yeah.
Label
it what you want.
I will. I mean, Fast and Furious 3, one Niners drink team, Thunderbirds. I do think
all but clinched.
I think we need to discuss Drink Team a little bit more next week. Because they're really good, and I feel because they've been a game behind all season long, and they had a tie mixed in there. We just sort of got lost in the mix.
Well, I did mention that Erica Mangini is probably the best female player in the division.
Yeah,
might be the best female player in co-ed 2 if she played there.
Well, only because Russia Valier is hurt.
Yes, fair. Yeah,
because and Marilou Bellin is injured also.
But not on a co-ed 2 roster.
She's played co-ed before, though.
Oh, but yes, but not this spring
season.
Oh,
you mean this spring specifically.
And, like, not with Power Rangers, that, like, franchises that they didn't set up a team, right?
Yeah. I think the top 4 are pretty set. Big 6 as well. I think they're a little under that level of competition, but...
Well, so the number 6 seed right now, we love Big TDs. They can only get a max of 12 points. So really we're looking at Les Crevettes, who can get 6 more points, move up to 12. They're in contention. Kamikaze got to win.
Yeah, and you know what? Les Crevettes have Dream Killers catching W's in Kamikaze.
Oh, wow. So maybe the Kamikaze game there at the end of the season might determine whether they get a first round bye or not. And we love Big TDs. They could win out without even looking at their schedule, but a lot of their
Fast
players
and Furious 3 and they Schlumpf. So
regardless of who they're playing, their roster is going to be missing a lot of their core players. A lot of their team going on vacation and going to they're just not going to be in town. So they're already looking for...
It's almost as if you described them going on vacation.
Yes, yeah. They're just not in town. They're going to have, they're already looking to try and get people to play enough games to get 5 games played. So that's really not going to be their core roster down the rest of the season and into the playoffs. So they could be a team that drops out of the first round bye. I think Les Crevettes have a chance. I think they have a good chance of making it.
I think they have a good chance too, because I think they can finish with 12, and it's not an unreasonable expectation. I think we love Big TDs will finish with 10. Pig 6, the only disadvantage they have is that they only have a single game left, but it is against Dream Killers.
Right.
So I think that essentially we've spent the last 4 minutes discussing essentially only 2 teams that can really change position, right? It comes down to Les Crevettes, and we love Big TDs
and Kamikaze, because they play Crevette and Kamikaze play each other.
Yeah, and the other game is Fast and Furious 3 though.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
So I think.
But then they'll have a tiebreaker if they do win.
But
Crevette will win. You believe
that's what I'm saying. Crevette will win.
The other 2.
Let's say 2 games, right? So that puts them to 10 points. Kamikaze would still have 8.
8, gotcha.
And we love Big TDs, somewhere 10. Between 8 and 10.
Yep.
Although Kamikaze's points against might help them if it's a 3-way tie.
Well, Crevette have less right now. With 1 game
for sure,
less.
But we love Big TDs have scored.
Right.
Of a lot more.
216. Yeah. So that could be one of the reasons why they drop out.
We love Big TDs seem bizarrely vulnerable to me.
Yeah.
Based on the points against, based on the schedule of the Crevette, based on the fact that Kamikaze looks like they may have a win in there too.
And then loss of their key players, right?
Yeah.
Loss of their core players on the team. So yeah, it looks like we love Big TDs are in jeopardy of losing their first round bye. Still, they're in prime position for a playoff spot, but they'll have to play in your so-called play-in game. We'll move to Division B, not Division D just yet.
Boss.
We'll start at the top of Division B. Pete's a very simple question from Mocon. How does the
terrible?
I said simple. Simple doesn't mean terrible.
No, I know, but it's because last week we said, are you framing it because it's Iggy's question and you're worried it might be terrible?
This is Iggy's question. This is not my question. The race for the top. seems to be between Blessed and Beers and Brownie. How does it play out, do you think, for the number 1 seed in this division? And does it even matter?
The answer is no. Not really.
I know, I agree with that, yeah.
Mo's obsession, dude. Beers and Brownies versus Run It Once. It's the next game you got on the schedule. It's annoyingly tomorrow. It would go a long way to answering this question.
I think that's and we'll get there after this, but I think that's a bigger game for. I think it's not rocket science. It's a bigger game for Run It Once.
Yeah,
much bigger game for them, right? They're trying to fend off Beer Belly Brigade, who played Silent Ticklers in a 1-point loss.
It's almost that that level of desperation, and the fact that they have Jeff Rosenblatt. It's a strong team who just has been underperforming.
Mm-hmm.
It's a team that's capable of scoring, which is
dangerous.
I can see neither team getting a stop, and it ending because of converts. And you're very competent at converts, but I don't think I'm insulting when I say give me Jeff Rosenblatt in that scenario, right?
Sure.
Just
would you take him against Braves versus Jameson's and DeVay? I outscored him on converts there, but
for all the reasons we discussed, where he didn't have his full roster and all that. So this is also another team where Run It Once has been missing guys, right?
Yeah.
So if they're able to bring their entire roster to the field, I don't think it's a particularly huge matchup. Especially, I think it's a great matchup for you guys, and especially because it's that hunger that they have at this moment. The fact that they need to win, and for you guys, it's
another regular season game.
Season game.
How about this?
And since the seeding doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll kind of skip over that question. Here's a better question.
Nice. So we have elite question for Mickey.
Elite question. Beers and Brownie. Yeah. Missing LP Thibodeau for the game. He's going over to Halifax for the that national flag tournament.
Okay.
Good luck. Good luck, LP. Similarly, for Run It Once, Jeff Rosenbach will be without Francois Hug. Okay. What's the bigger loss for the teams? Considering LP is my snapper. But I might be bringing in Matt Kerouac. Okay, how about maybe now it's more skewed. So I'm getting, Matt Kerouac to snap, but I don't have AJ Gomes.
So that's the bigger loss.
Well, is it? So is the weight of having lost my original snapper but getting Kerouac in who's losing bigger components here?
I mean, look, I know Kerouac's old, but he's still competent, man. He's gonna be all right. Just don't expect a lot of yardage from the guy because his knees are basically
broken,
full of water and all sorts of trash at this point.
Should check that out.
Yeah, just
there's gonna be and
nuts and bolts.
It might be raining, so
forget that.
No, it's supposed to be sunny by 7:00.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Weather report by Iggy. I also hope that's the case because I hate throwing.
You're playing as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do think that you not having AJ Gomes is the biggest loss on the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because you're losing probably the best receiver in FPF,
right?
And Francois, he's rushing for them too, right?
I wouldn't be able to definitively.
He's a very good rusher.
Say. Yeah.
If he's rushing for them, he's a very good rusher. It's impossible. He's leading the team with 2 sacks.
It's not great.
I don't know if he's the full-time rusher. I don't know if Noah Groper's the full-time rusher.
Groper's. I've seen more of Groper, and I'd probably say he's the rusher, and might be the better of the two. I hesitate. I
think he's the faster of the two. I don't think he's the better of the two.
Okay.
Francois Hogue's also rushed at a higher level than Noah Groper has until this season.
21 tackles for Noah Groper suggests he's not the rusher.
Yeah. Unless he's deflecting guys after he gets beat.
At the 1 yard after 21 times. No, I don't think so.
So yeah, I'd say. While Francois Hogue kind of is the Swiss Army knife for that team and can do a lot of different things, I think the biggest loss, given all of the information that you weirdly gave in stages,
I know,
is AJ Gomes not being in the game.
Yeah. I mentioned it because there are 2 party crasher players in LP Thibodeau and Francois Hogue, so I was kind of thinking in my head 1 for 1, but then I remembered AJ's not there, so so we have bigger holes to fill. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I think that I think that's probably that and Poseidon's Kiss are gonna be the biggest test. Had you played Poseidon's Kiss already?
Once, and we have them again.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
beat them last
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it is hard to beat a team
They're a
twice,
good
but
team. They're a good team.
they are a good team. But yeah, I think there's a good chance you get you come out of this season with only one loss. But even if you have two losses, there's a chance you and Blessed or I don't know 1 and 2 seed. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of the same thing that we said in Division A,
Yeah.
right?
Blessed does have a last game against Silent Ticklers, which is unpredictable.
Yeah, especially with Paul Lapierre now at quarterback with Panetta hurt. Look, Ticklers over Beer Belly Brigade. You'd think that'd be a somewhat of a blowout, but it was a 20-19 game yesterday at Brossard. So, or yesterday being Tuesday at Brossard.
But was that Paul Lapierre's first game with them?
No. He's played outdoors against Poseidon's Kiss. He's had several games. He didn't look. Again, it wasn't my field I was doing, but from just taking a quick peek here and there, a couple fourth down conversions that he didn't get, overthrowing receivers, and then of course, a couple times he was hitting receivers right in stride for 40-yard bombs as well. Unpredictable, I think, like you said, is a good way. Speaking of, though, Poseidon's Kiss, where do you think do they have a shot at that third seed right now? Between them, Mangoose, B-Raves,
Can we
Silent
put a
Ticklers.
poll on Instagram asking players if they care about seedings?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Especially in the top 3 divisions.
Why? Yeah, 2 questions about seedings. Mo's obsessed.
He's upset, and it doesn't. I'm gonna tell you what I tell him every week. It doesn't matter.
It really, honestly, I agree with you. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't. Like, Poseidon's Kiss played Ambush Tuesday at Brossard as well, and 47-41.
48
48. So you're really gonna correct me over 1 point?
accuracy, bro.
Yeah.
Called journalism. You should try it for once.
Scorekeeping. You should try it for once.
Do you want me to?
Yes, I could use
Really?
you. Yes.
No, I promise you could not. I would be the worst scorekeeper.
You keep telling me that.
Yes.
You're setting yourself up for failure.
Yes.
Dream a little bigger.
Guy.
No.
ADHD and a lot of games happen after 9 p.m.
Yeah.
So, it's an issue.
You're a loss. Yeah, I think it's really, yeah, I do agree. Seeding doesn't really matter. So let's put it this way. Let's take a look at Poseidon's Kiss and tell me one team for them that is a bad matchup.
Iggy? That was an elite question.
Thank you.
I would have said Ambush before the game because I thought that Ambush has that sort of frantic pace
Yeah,
and the ability.
they play the fastest pace in Division B.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Which is wild because like you play fast pace in Division B also, right?
No.
But I know what you mean.
He's fast.
It's intense.
Yes.
It's intense.
Yeah.
They're at the line quickly. They communicate their plays quickly, and it's not like they're at the line quickly and guys are running the wrong routes and stuff. They're just so in tune with having played with each other for so long, and then integrating Sean and Royce Emergent into that group, I think was just I think they're a great pairing of receivers to add to what you get from James Drysdale and Kevin Donnett, for example.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought that would have been a tough matchup, and like it wasn't easy. They had to score every drive basically to win the game. So, I don't love Poseidon's Kiss's matchup against Mangoose, although Mangoose is it just me or they just been a little disappointing this season?
I'd say disappointing defensively. I think they're putting up the crazy amount of points, which is fun. It's not disappointing at all. It's exactly what you expect and maybe a little beyond.
I just thought they were going to be a clear. I mean, let's look at seeds. Clear 1 or 2 seed the entire way, right? Like I just thought they'd be
I don't know.
class of the division.
There's I mean, yeah, again, we're saying the same thing, but there are a lot of good teams. I think in them I wouldn't put them necessarily as 1 or 2 seed at the beginning of the season. I would have said top 4. And if they were outside of the top 4, then I'd be surprised.
I guess that's it. Like they're doing fine. I keep wanting to see the season where they come in and just dominate because it feels like they're right there.
Yeah.
And I know they lost James Drysdale.
Yeah.
They added Marvin Steinberg though, so that's still a great piece.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It seems like it's maybe just what I want is for them to just take that next step, and they're essentially a 500 team.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, looking at their roster. If you take a look at their receiving core, Mangoes have 5 receivers in the top 20.
Yeah.
You have Thomas Couture, of course, Marvin Steinberg.
I think it's 4, but yeah.
Sorry?
I think it's 4 receivers in top 20, but yeah.
Yes.
Interception.
Why do you write?
Because I thought it was 5, and then I changed it to 4.
Oh, it was
but,
you.
I was trying to do it seamlessly so we could just correct the mistake and move forward, but let's sink into it.
Gaspar, Chernicek.
Yeah.
And then perhaps the best flag name in all of flag. Literally, Gabriel Drapeau. Literally flag. Mr. Flag himself. Zgorlaski. Believe he's the snapper for the team. Do they have the deepest receiving core in Division B?
I think it's up there. I think like Blessed and Beers and Brownies are up there as well. But to me, they're in that sort of
For sure.
group of teams where anyone could do damage at any point. I think that they all do different things. Thomas Kutsu, again, does all that sideline stuff for them.
Yeah.
And even though you know it's coming.
It's just, it looks like he's running a go. He's running it so fast.
Yeah.
And what he does is he dips his shoulders down, making it seem like he's
accelerating.
He's accelerating, and then immediately stops. And right before he immediately stops, that ball's coming out, and there's just nothing you can do. Literally know it's coming, and there's nothing you can do about it.
It's his speed is scary. His route running is great.
Yeah.
The connection he has with Nick Schaefer is amazing, and the fact that Nick Schaefer can throw the ball through a cement wall, like the ball gets there in a quarter of a second, and if you're not already breaking on it before Thomas Kutsu is, you don't have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to catch that hook in your face every time.
Yep.
So there's that. Zgorlaski, like you said, is that guy who's a snapper. Ceranic does a lot of the intermediate and deep stuff for them. And of course, Marvin Steinberg comes in and fills the James Drysdale role, like we talked about. And it's funny because it always felt like they were missing that one piece. And like, it's like they acknowledge it. They're like, all right, we're going to add Nick Schaefer. We're going to add Marvin Steinberg. It might be a rotating piece that they bring in, but they have sort of the cachet. And Nick Schaefer has now sort of the reputation where it's not going to be that hard for him to recruit a top-end talent like Marvin Steinberg or James Drysdale.
Right. So let's compare it and make a decision here, P. So what would you rather have?
We need to make a decision.
Yes.
There can only be one. It's Highlander up in here.
So what would you rather have? Would you rather have the 2 400-yard receivers and 2 230-plus yard receivers that Mangoose does have? Or would you rather have, because we're talking about depth, or would you rather have 3 receivers with 200 yards or more and then 4 more receivers that have about 150 yards or more?
You just threw like 90 numbers at me.
So 7 receivers deep, no one with more than, say, 280 yards, or having 4 guys, 2 of which have 400 and 2 of which have around 250.
So to me, when I talk about depth, it's not necessarily the amount of receivers, but like if you go 5 deep and you just have 5 guys on offense all the time, but the caliber of the 5 are as good as anyone's top 5, to me that matters more than if you're 7 or 8 deep. You know what I mean?
In the context of a drive, yes. But I think in the
in
context...
the context of just like of team building, like you can't play 8 receivers anyway. And if your 5 are, if you have the best group of 5,
That's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
In the context of a single drive, yes. But over the length of a season with injuries...
But if you have
you
no
lose-
injuries and they're there every
No, but
game,
but
then
they're-
it won't matter. Which
but-
Mangoes have kind of been that. Like
So
they've been
let
the
me-
most consistent roster in the division.
So let me throw exactly your own words from last week back to you, is that this is a recreational league in the summer where you have injuries, vacations, weddings, getaways.
I have known the following things about Mangoes. They hate love. They don't go to weddings.
They love TDs. Though.
They love TD, so they play football. They think that Quebec is a beautiful place, as do I. And they're like, why do I need to go on vacation too? What was the third thing? Injuries. They're like, injuries are for other teams, not for us. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Kutsu
Look.
runs too much and bikes too much to get injured.
Exactly. He's outrunning injury.
Right.
It's like, imagine like the Grim Reaper's just sort of chasing him around and never catches him. Dude's immortal.
Okay.
No, it's impossible to answer like to the negative, right? Like you don't know who's gonna get hurt. You don't
No,
know
no,
who's
I
gonna
know,
go on
but so
vacation.
what would that's it? So what would you rather? So you're saying you'd rather have the 5? These are my 5
I
guys.
think
They're
if you
top.
If
They're
you
top
have
guys.
5 guys who absolutely
I'm
fit your
hungry.
offense
Hungry now.
perfectly, and
Yeah.
I think there's value to that. I
Of
think
course.
that like the fact that again, there's the thing that we described with Nick Schaefer and Thomas Couture.
Yeah,
That's
that
the-
connection. Yeah,
That value is
Yeah.
really hard to replace. And like,
it's more than just the 400 yards.
yeah,
It's more than the sum of its parts.
It's the fact that we need 10 yards now, and he goes on and gets you 11, because
Yeah.
again, even though you know it's coming, it's impossible to stop.
Speaking of injury, of course, we've said it over a couple weeks now that Rachel Valliere in women's division has suffered an injury where Red Nation are now replacing her with Gigi Cabillo-Abante. Is she the answer? Is she the prayer that to save Red Nation's season?
So I have a semantics question actually
Go for
about the roster.
Okay.
So if I'm not mistaken, Geraldine Caballo-Abante was on the roster to start the season.
I don't.
She didn't have a game played, though.
remember Seeing her name, but maybe.
No, she was on the roster.
Okay.
I know because I mentioned her
Okay.
as being on the roster and not having a game played
All right.
this season.
Gotcha.
But she hadn't played a game.
Okay.
Could she be an IR replacement for Rachel Valliere? Because we know if she's hurt, she's going to get a doctor's note and all
This is
that. right?
likely the case. Yes.
But like, even though she was already on the roster,
So.
could you? I just didn't know if you could do that. If you could,
Yeah,
if
it's
you could
any
repl-
player. It's
Any player, okay.
literally any player.
I didn't know. I thought you
Any
had
player
adding a
with
player to the roster.
certain conditions. They can't be over a certain cap and
Yeah,
et
obviously.
cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I think so. She was.
So you
At a time when
you
Russia-
think so? What you think she
I-
will be the replacement,
she
or
will
she
be-
think she can save their season? Because that's the question. Can she save their season, which is
I
stumbling
think if there's a
here?
chance to save their season, it rests with Gigi Caballo-Abante.
Fair.
And basically, at a time where Rachel Valliere was more the defensive presence and it wasn't as integrated into the offense, Gigi was the number one threat for this team.
Yeah.
And I think they revert to that a little bit. I do think that the Alison Sobel's main issue is she tends to zero in on her number one receiver and doesn't spread the wealth as much as she could. That said, this week not the case at all. She did a great job of that. I know Caballo-Abante scored 2 touchdowns, but if you look at just ball distribution, you know, Lamiz Aljundi having 3 targets,
Yeah.
Marilyn Cesare having 4, Melanie Germain had 3. Like it's not enough, but at least beyond that one target, it's spread out.
Yeah.
Because
Which is
Geraldine
fine.
Caballo-Abante did have 11 targets,
Yes,
to be
yes,
fair.
Yeah.
And she's going to continue getting that work, but I think once you get to playoffs, you're going to face teams that are going to specifically try to take that number one receiver away.
But is there any team, because it wasn't Blue Thunder yesterday,
No.
or on Tuesday?
Juliette Beauvais turned the ball over way too much.
Yeah, four INTs, especially where Marilyn Cesar got 2 and returned 1 for a pick 6. Right.
Yeah.
That when Red Nation gets defensive scores, that's where they tend to
It
come
gives
out.
them life, right?
Yeah. They tend to come out victorious in those games.
Yeah. That to me has been the issue for Blue Thunder. And their season's kind of turned since Juliette Beauvais started to struggle. Because they looked good early in the season.
Yeah.
And that hasn't been the case.
One team that has looked good very recently is Le Petit Miette.
Mm-hmm.
They in their last 5 games, their only loss came to Sub-Zero. So with Wildcats, we've anointed them as the number 1 team in women's 2. Can they challenge Wildcats now that they've got some momentum going on here? Wildcats are looking really strong, though. They
did shut out the Petit Miette early in the season.
Right. Early on, yeah.
And again, it's early on, and the Petit Miette have looked better. My concern with them is the scoring of points. So in the last,
They're the second highest scoring team in women's 2.
but they seem to either score 30 or a single score. In the last 3 weeks, they have. In the last 4 weeks, they have 3 weeks where they've only scored 2 touchdowns or less. 7, 6, and 15.
You mean, 7-12, but yes, yeah.
Sorry, 6, 12. Sorry, 15, 12, and 7. Yes, I was doing in reverse order.
7, 12, 32, and 15.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the 3 games I was
Yeah,
referencing.
yeah.
I think Morgan Casimano was been actually a little under the radar as probably one of the better quarterbacks in the women's 2 division.
Yep.
She's completing a ton of her passes. She's not turning the ball over a ton. She seems to have found something at least consistent in this part of the season. The scoring does need to improve, I do think.
Yeah, 22 scores. Yeah, 22 scores in 8 games. I see where you're coming from. Even though they're the second highest scoring team in women's 2, 22 touchdowns in 8 games. It's not enough to compete with Wildcats, who in their offense, they scored a season low of 20. So, and if you're scoring 22 touchdowns in 8 games, that's roughly 3 touchdowns. That's 18 points. And if you're converting only 1, maybe 2 out of the 3 converts, you're only putting up 20, 21 points. Where Wildcats, like I just said, they scored a season low of 20.
Because the thing is, what I do
19, actually.
what I do like about that matchup of Le Petit and Wildcats is Catherine Bolduc, on the other hand, has thrown 13 interceptions. So
Okay.
she's seemingly more apt to make a mistake, but it comes down to whether or not they can capitalize on the mistakes, and that wasn't the case the first time they played at all. And Wildcats are also apt at forcing mistakes too. If you look at Alexandre Ladouceur, 6 interceptions, 12 PDs. She's constantly on the ball.
Yep.
Constantly on the ball. And of course, like,
And offensively, too, 411 yards, 7 touchdowns.
and Erica Magini and Tamara Journeau, like, we know their talents, right? Like,
Yeah.
we talked about Erica early in the season,
Yeah.
earlier in the show.
Yeah.
Tamara Journeau is one of these players, one of the women's players that
Canada.
made a name for herself early on because we instantly recognized her. Oh, she's really good, and of
Yeah.
course, Team Canada, like you mentioned, right? So, it's a really. I liked Wildcats in the previous season. They kind of just are a team, I think, that's in between the caliber of Division 1 and Division 2. I think they would have been the worst team in Division 1.
I think they're better than The Rock.
Really?
Yeah.
Have they played each other?
They have played. They came out victorious 19-14. But close.
I mean, okay, so at best, like, they're at par with The Rock, let's say.
Or slightly above.
Yeah.
I think they could
But,
have
like,
been
okay, so they're, like, say they played that game 10 times, they probably win, 6 times out of 10?
6, 7.
So, yeah. So, okay, so if it's 7, it makes more of a difference, but yeah.
So, 6, 3, and 1. There you go.
Okay. So, yeah,
One tie.
so they could have played women's one in your estimation.
Yeah. Again, removing Sub-Zero from the equation because it's just all-star.
It's the
Here we go. Every week we got to come up with a new synonym.
was it I think it's 1992. The 1992 Dream Team, the one
Right.
with Jordan and
Yeah.
Barkley and
Yeah.
Patrick Ewing. Players that most people listening to this podcast have probably never seen play basketball.
Wild.
But like everyone my age in Canada had a Team USA jersey. Just because that's how exciting that team was.
Yeah.
That's what Sub-Zero is.
Yeah.
Every week we have a new comparison because they're that. Like they're that at every position.
What was the Eagle, the boss that Mo was trying to get and you
Goro.
totally botched it? Yeah, Goron.
It was very clearly Goro.
Goro, that's it.
The four-armed Goro.
Yeah.
I was screaming it on the bus, by the way, when I was heading to work. listening to this.
Goro! Everyone's staring at Peas on the bus. Peas, on the last couple of shows that I've tuned in, you guys have been talking about Maya DeFazio and for X and X quarterback. And, we naturally think of her as the quarterback of the team, and you've broken down the performances over the past few weeks. But have we not been focusing on her defense, or we haven't been focusing on her defense enough? She's the first woman in the division with double-digit interceptions. But for some reason her stats are inflated, allegedly.
What?
It's on the script. I read it.
Okay.
He did that thing again, where he Ron Burgundied me.
I mean, that's as literal as it's gonna get. It literally says, "Eagle note: her stats are inflated allegedly," in italics.
Yes,
You
yes,
just
I
straight
did.
up read it wrong.
No. I
And
didn't.
now the
read
audience
it.
can tell
I know
how stupid you are.
I didn't read it wrong. I read it there, and I'm like, yeah, I might as well just say it.
It's fine. It's fine. We can't all be good at our jobs.
So, what's the question?
Have we not been talking?
Oh, yeah.
Have we been omitting her defensive excellence?
We haven't.
In lieu of her struggles and just dissecting her quarterback play.
Yeah, she's been great, and the fact that like, essentially, if a ball gets intercepted on her team, largely it's her doing the work, right? And the fact that she's also got tackles, to me,
PDs, as well.
PDs as well. Like it just seems like she's breaking on the ball. She's playing instinctively. I think if you're athletic enough to do it, playing defense as a quarterback, if you understand concepts, you can sort of take away what the offense is trying to do. At least take away a read. And if the quarterback forces that read, you're in position to make a play. And I think that that's what Maya DeFazio is doing. Is that because of her understanding and her ability to read a defense, and she's now taking that and being able to implement that on the other side of the ball. And if you look sort of like at the season, oh man, I was trying to pull up her game logs here.
Yes.
If you look especially recently,
Mm-hmm.
in the last 4 games, she has 7 interceptions.
That's putting her in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year
Or-
in women's 1 and 2 combined. Right,
Yeah.
she is the leader in interceptions right now.
Two-way won't get there yet because the
Yeah.
quarterbacking is not there yet. Although again, the game I saw her play, she looked a lot better. I saw her
Yes.
play in the game against, I believe, Blue Thunder.
Mm-hmm. So, between her and her 10 INTs, and behind her is Rachel Valliant, who we know it looks to seem that she won't be playing for the remainder of the season here. There's Sydney Rush with 7 INTs and Jessica Bustappen with 7 sacks in just 3 games. Is she, in a prime? Seems to be she's a prime position to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, Jessica Bostampin
Yeah.
to me is just that's the flex on Sub-Zero, right? It's like really, if be better at every position. Cool. Yeah, no, I think she is. I think she's the front runner for me. Like 10 interceptions at this point of the season. If she finishes out strong, I think she takes home some hardware at the end of the season.
Now we're moving to Division D. We can this time start as you and Peas, you are Peas. You and Mo refused to talk about the Division D.
You know what it is?
You did refuse, and even though you were part of the
I know. I didn't
unveiling,
want to be mistaken. I felt more
it was
comfortable.
there. I updated it finally.
So can we do it now, or
Yes.
do you have any other complaints and cries?
It was more on him actually. Him being Eagle.
I brushed him off though. I told him not to do it.
Yeah,
It's not me. I take accountability.
So the Division D playoff breakdown, Peas.
Yeah.
And Eagle, if you can put it up on the screen, because it's now available. We do have a splitting of Division D, as we sometimes do. Division D1 and D2. Do we want to talk about a little about how that came to be and what the... Well, let's...
Well, we didn't divide the teams preseason. We didn't divide the divisions preseason because teams registered without knowing there would be a split, and basically we didn't want to penalize a team for being over the cap in the first couple of weeks. Maybe like, they had a friend and the friend was going to play, but they just weren't on the initial version of the roster, and now they can't play because they're over the division.
Now
D
they're in Division
gap.
D1, but they really should have been in Division 2 because they're not having that player
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah.
And so we decided to split it once we have more information.
Mm-hmm.
And this is obviously before we buy our chicken thighs at Super C for $4.99 a pound this week. So,
Right.
the ad on the screen.
Yes. I just saw it. Yeah.
So,
That's a great price, by the way.
It is a great price.
It's also one way to kill your barbecue and put it in flames is with Super C like chicken.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Just trim the fat.
I don't
There's
recommend it.
no, just don't buy your
Just
chicken
don't.
there.
I would, as someone who gets farm chicken, I would agree. It's not the same, but yeah. So we decided to split it
Yes.
after the season started, where we have more information at hand.
Yep.
We have a couple of ways we can do it. We started a conversation the other day about another way we can do it in future
Yes.
seasons, which we won't air, but we should get back to that because it is interesting. But what do we do this time around?
Right. So instead of just doing a natural split down the middle, where let's say there's 24 teams that make the playoffs in Division D. So instead of just doing 1 to 12 are in Division 1 or D1 of Division D, and seeds 13 through 24 are in D2, what we did is we did a 1 through 6, so top 6 seeds, Division 1, and then seeds 19 through 24 will be Division D1. And then the middle seeds, you can just split it out. The middle seeds, 7 through 18, are Division D2.
Yeah. And the reason we
there's
did
a
this
logic.
was
Yeah, there's a logic to that.
in earlier years, we had split down the middle,
Right.
and we kind of rewarded a team for, I don't want to
mid.
say tanking, but they totally tanked.
Or a different way of looking at it is that, if you did do 1 through 12, is that 12, and if you look at the standings right now, the 12th seed has a record of 6-2. So you go 6-2, and oh great, you have to play the number 1 seed now. So we were like punishing you for doing relatively well in a tough division.
Meanwhile, seed number 13 gets the easiest schedule playing seed number 24 or whatever.
Yeah,
it is, right?
and we were rewarding a team who, early on, they didn't have their top season, and so they decided to tank the rest of the way.
Well done.
And
Right,
so,
I caught that.
and they ended up getting themselves an easy championship by losing a couple of games late in the season. So
That was hurricane season, by the way. So just
it was?
yeah,
Well, it's top season, guys.
yeah.
That's in
Well-
September. This is spring season.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, recently, Eagle, it's all the time now.
That's true.
So those two reasons led us to coming up with a split where the top teams get rewarded by playing the bottom teams who qualify for the playoffs. And what you get in the middle with D2 is one of the coolest,
Yeah.
toughest, grindiest playoff runs. Like, if you win that championship, I almost feel as though
I
it's
was
more
gonna ask you.
valuable than a D1.
I was gonna ask you,
Yeah.
like, which one's more valuable, like winning D1
I don't-
or
I-
D2?
Winning a championship in FPF is valuable.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Yes. Yeah.
Division 1A through 6.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yes.
It's incredibly hard.
It's a grind.
and so if you win it, you won based on your talent
Merits.
level.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna tell the story of how you won the championship, the historian that writes the D2 champion will have a great story to tell because
Yeah.
of the teams that make the playoffs, because that middle ground. Like, there's gonna be no easy games.
Right.
There's gonna be upsets.
That's it. That's
Like,
it. Yes.
we won't see a lot of upsets in the first round of Division D1.
Yes.
Which, if we had a giant playoff, we wouldn't get that either.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways where we wouldn't get upsets, but D2 we will see them.
Yes. I think that kind of explains it. I think Division D1's first rounds will be quote unquote easier than Division D2. D2's overall playoff will be harder, but I think the Division D1 final will be slightly better than Division D2, but it's really not by much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's how you can more or less look at it, but I think the grind to get to the final is harder in Division D2.
Oh, absolutely, because you don't have a free first round.
So, that being said,
Seeding matters in this division,
yes, you see, now we should be talking about...
but it's not in the script,
Yeah,
Mo.
yes, of course. Learn how to script. There was a game that Mo saw that he wrote in here. And he wants to talk about the takeaways from the West Island boys facing off against Every Inch Counts Tuesday at Brossard. The storyline, more or less, is that Matthew Yanakoulias, as good as he has been all season, throwing a lot of touchdowns for Every Inch Counts, threw 2 critical red zone interceptions. And I think not just in this storyline of this game, I think that's been his Achilles heel throughout the season. I've seen that when he gets into the red zone, and through no fault of his own, the red zone is a very tight area, but he's been prone to throwing those red zone interceptions. And they came at critical moments in the game. 1, when they were up 4 points in the second half, and 2, on the last play of the game. How more critical can you get to potentially win it?
Well, I mean, like, you're making a throw to try and win. If it's intercepted, like you're putting the ball up, right? Like you're trying to make a play.
Yeah.
That's not the one I fault him for per se, although I wasn't there to see the exact read and all that.
Yeah.
Like, to me, the earlier interception, as counterintuitive as it is slightly more impactful because at the end of the game, like,
if you score on that drive,
yeah,
you're not. You're
it's a different
now,
story, right?
You're not in a position where you needed to score on the last play of the game.
And if you don't put the ball up, and then like you get sacked or whatever, then like the game's over anyway. Like it reminds you of the I was there for the Bandits against Idaho Udapim's game,
right,
where Will Power was throwing, and he threw it pick on the last play of the game, and it's like, well, but you kind of had to get rid of the ball. You had to throw it to someone.
No, you don't want to take a sack and then not give it your receivers a chance at the ball.
Exactly. So it's Matthew Yanakoulias trying to win a game basically, and look, other than that, he played really well. He had the most fast stat line of all time. You know, like only 7 incompletions, 260 yards, but the 2 interceptions are glaring, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just a little too much. And you know, West Island boys, they are that team where they can run it up with anyone. Mike B.
Yeah, there you
go. You know, having a huge game here. You know, along with Skylar Bailiff, Julian McLaren Thompson. We've talked about this team a bunch. Like the talent level on this team is insane. Yeah. Zach Stacy getting better and better as a quarterback. I know I didn't necessarily criticize him so much as saying like, man, Zach Stacy's a great receiver if you have a quarterback with a receiving core that also includes him. But now he's getting to a point where it's like, well, maybe he's the best option as an arm for the team.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. And getting that Division C experience, playing against better defenses, definitely helps him here in Division D. But here's the elite question. I'm one-upping the question here from Mo.
I have elite analysis on every inch counts for
right.
For you.
Well, that's it. Every inch counts with 10 games played. West Island boys with 9 in the 10th seed. The question from Mo was, will they face each other in the playoffs? But really is...
They might not even.
They might not, right? That's exactly it. So
they might not be in the same division.
Are they going to... Exactly. So will they end up in the same division bracket, D1 or D2?
I think there's a significant chance that Every Inch Counts ends up as one of the top seeds in the D2 tournament.
In the D2, yes. I was going to say that. I think there's more likelihood that they do end up in the same bracket, and that bracket being D2.
There is just down to penetrators. There are 4 teams that can catch them with a single win who have 2 or more games, and 3 of those teams have 3 games to play.
Yes.
So I don't see Every Inch Counts staying there. I see them falling at least to 7 or 8.
Yeah, which
lower.
Just again, that's outside the cusp of D1.
Yeah. I don't think they make D1. I don't think they make D1. If that's your question.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
I have just a quick note.
Yes.
I mentioned it quickly as Mo Khan was trying to make a point about Darren McDazian making the Hall of Fame.
Oh right. Yes. Yeah. It was like literally half a second. You're like, Justin Blanchard wants a word.
Well, because here's the thing.
Yeah.
I then looked it up.
Yes. Go.
And not only does he dwarf him in both categories, but also offensively, and has awards and has championships.
Yeah.
More so than Darren McDazian.
Right. Yeah.
And has done so at higher divisions.
Is that taken into account?
Not
it has to be like perceptive, like the person voting has to
get
know
in
that.
To get in from a low division, you kind of have to be either really impactful in the way Joey Taylor was, or you have to put up comical numbers, basically.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I know. Look, I love Darren. By the way, he's a great dude. That's just Mo keeping up for his boy, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's good. It's not Hall of Fame caliber just yet.
Yeah. No.
You know.
Yeah, he's good. He's solid. I take him.
I mean, like, here's the thing. My point wasn't even Justin Blanchard belongs in the Hall of Fame. It was like, I don't think Justin Blanchard's ever got 5% of the vote for
Yeah.
Hall of Fame.
Has he? Is he? But
He's been eligible,
eligible. Yeah.
No, he's
Yeah.
been. I honestly don't think I voted for Justin Blanchard yet.
Right.
Just to
It's
say,
just because
that's competition, right?
Because
Like,
that's a list of names that appears, right?
Yeah. and like, if someone who's doubling the stats, then the case that most taking is making.
Quickly here, just off topic. The FPF Instagram poll of the next player to most likely get the 5 for 5
Didn't see
in the awards.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah,
Yeah. Who's off the top of your head? Who was a name that you either voted for or if you didn't vote?
I didn't vote.
I think there was two
I
for
think
me.
AJ Gomes can do it.
Yeah, AJ Gomes QB, and I think Justin Lerner Defensive Player of the Year.
That's
But-
what I said actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's still playing, right? He's still playing in, like Division D and Division C.
Yeah.
More so, still playing in Division D.
Is he playing quarterback?
He's now taking over the reins
Yeah,
for fourth and schlong.
But
for
he
a-
won't
But
have enough games played. I don't think to win an award, to win that as an award. No.
no, you're not listening.
Sorry.
Justin Lerner needs a Defensive Player of the Year award.
Oh, to have 5 total, not the
Yeah.
same season.
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah.
Yeah. Or AJ Gomes with a QB of the Year. It won't. I don't think it'll be this year for
Which
AJ.
one's Tam Vildeth missing?
I forget.
He's not playing this season though.
I
But
forget. He was the omitted one.
yeah.
He got
'Cause
but he got a whole post to himself.
But I will say, when I first read the post, as I read the first post, I was like, "Where's Tam?"
Right.
Because like he's famous for winning at various positions, right? So
MVP.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
yeah, it's a good question. It was actually a fun little,
Yeah, it was good.
little question.
It was a good one.
AJ Gomes is my guess just because the level he's playing quarterback at, and it's still a low enough level that I think you know what I mean, like
Well, it's C or higher or Div.
for sure. Just,
3
he's
or
a guy
higher.
who's been playing in Division 1 for so long
Yeah.
that why wouldn't he be able to get there? Sort of
Yeah.
thing. You know?
Yeah. He's definitely in that conversation. At the bottom of the brackets here, why so serious? Clinging on to that 24th and last playoff spot here at 1-6, 7 games played. Can they stave off teams like Save the Turf Dolls, Riders of Rohan, DNE, Longhorns, all with 1 wins? Can they stave off and finally clinch their
Guys,
long-awaited playoff seed?
They
No,
have
they're
West
only-
Island boys, Glory boys, and Friends with Danny left on their
Lots of
schedule.
boys. That's tough.
boys and friends.
That's tough.
And their only win is by forfeit.
Oh boy. So I think their toughest competition that are currently below them would be Save the Turf Dolls. I think even DNE has a shot. So Save the Turf Dolls in their remaining 3 games. Stallions, Longhorns, who's one of the teams with 1 win, and Le Renard Vif currently in the number 1 seed. So I think Save the Turf Dolls can have Longhorns. They just pure speed alone can beat Longhorns. While DNE, win their 3 remaining games, have Glory Boys, Root Sacks, and Big Dracos. Those are 3 tough
games.
tough opponents. So I think Save the Turf Dolls might supersede Why So Serious.
The frustrating part is I think this is the best roster Western Series has had in a while,
Why So Serious, yeah.
if not ever. Like Brandon Kerr's a good young player with essentially no cap hit. He's played with me in Division C and was
Yep.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Kareem at Chilcott played with both of us.
Yep.
Has been awesome. Rob DLC, just a really familiar player on this team, although he
Hasn't played enough games.
hasn't played enough games.
Yeah.
Matt Tamila and Nick Strider are 2 guys who are giants. I think they're
Oh,
both
yes.
6'3" plus.
Yeah.
So they have speed.
Josh
they have
Curry
size.
and speed, yeah. Josh Curry, good speed.
I don't get it. I don't know.
Philippe Quintal, by the way, one of their free agents that they recruited on the team from FPF's free agent.
I just don't know him well.
Good.
So-
Very good. Very solid player.
Yeah. I know keeping the conversation there for a second. It just, like, you scored 149 points in 7 games, and 60 of them came through a forfeit.
So less than 100 in 6 games.
7.
Huh?
Oh, in 6 games. 'Cause they
Yeah,
didn't
'cause
play that
the
one.
forfeit.
Yeah, you're right.
'Cause of
You're
the
right.
forfeit.
Sorry.
That's tough.
Yeah. I don't think Ryan Rohan catched him. I don't think DNA catch him. Save the Turtles and Longhorns are the options.
Right. And Save the Turtles play Longhorns.
So they get caught because one of those teams wins.
Right. So can they get one win. Can they beat West Island Boys?
No.
Glory Boys?
That's the closest one, and no.
It's the closest one, and I don't think so. And then Friends with Danny.
No.
No.
Friends with Danny are good.
They're good. You and Mo love them.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like them. They're
Why don't you love them?
great group of
Are
guys.
you not? Do you not love them, or are you not in love with them?
I'm not in love with them.
Poor guys.
They're 6-2. Those 2 losses, I've score kept them. They are getting wrecked. They are getting thrown out of the building.
Okay, let me tell you why I like them.
Yeah.
Danny Demore is one of the best players to ever play the sport.
He's quarterbacking, but yes, I agree.
But I mean, so what I mean by that is, I don't think he's necessarily like a lock for Hall of Fame necessarily, because I don't think he's done
But I think he's
one of those.
he's
I
in
don't
the
think he's done
conversation.
anything
Right.
like well enough to get there. But he's so good at every part of the game.
Well, he has the most interceptions in FPF.
History.
I think so. I remember seeing that. Eagle produced the show.
Eventually, Rush Chevalier will like a word,
Yeah.
but
Eventually.
I don't think that's the case, but
He's in the top 10.
sure.
He's in the top 10.
he actually is at 193. You were right.
Number 1.
Yep.
193
So
interceptions.
maybe he's
Hall of
soon
Fame.
to be Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He's on the list every year.
Yeah. He's one of those guys who gets enough votes to keep himself on the list,
Right.
basically. Jeremy Laplante is an absolute phenom.
Yeah. Yes.
He's the
yes.
one-hand wheel guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of
No. He's very
he's
good.
exploded in a way that Phil Fernand did. While they're not the same player, the way he's just I came out of nowhere and made an impression on the league. He's had that kind of impact. I'm not comparing the two players.
I understand. You're comparing the quick rise,
Yeah.
and to the name.
To like,
and-
what is this guy? To like, now everyone knows this guy.
Yeah.
To he'll be on Jeff Rosenblatt's team in no time,
Or mine.
or yours. Then they round out the receiver with like familiar parts like Jared Buck, Justin Santillo, Michael Timmons.
Yeah.
A lot of size in that.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
So the size of those guys on defense, and then the ball skills of Laplante and Danny Demore make that defense really good.
Okay, yes. Defensively, yes. I think the biggest question mark is the quarterback play. And while
112 quarterback rating.
while schematically he's drawing up good enough plays, and his accuracy and his touch on balls is great. It's the force of which he's throwing the ball with. It's floating. It's floating up way too. How many picks do you have this season, Peace?
I'm having a bad season.
There you go. It's
I
just
have an injured hand.
they're getting to the right spot, but not fast enough. And if he throws,
Is that throwing a force, or is it because
but the balls are underthrown,
but
so they're
underthrown. Okay, so
they're underthrown.
Because my next question was, is it because when you don't have a particularly strong arm,
Yeah.
you have to throw with anticipation,
Yes.
and so
And that's what I'm seeing. There's that half a second, full second delay of when the ball should be released, and that's just not having played the position long enough.
Yeah.
and
because I think he's smart enough,
he
and
is.
capable enough
I agree.
that
That's why I said
without
that.
having a big arm, he could be a guy like myself, a guy like Joey Taylor,
Yes.
who has to throw with anticipation, get the ball out of his hand
Yeah.
to a spot with anticipation.
It's not there yet, and
Yeah.
if it's not thrown there earlier, he doesn't have the strength.
Yeah. But he has to know that. He has to know about his game and make adjustments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Find easier reads, or maybe strip down your playbook a little bit. And, like, it's the whole Kevin Wyatt thing. It's not that he has only 4 plays. It's that he only needs four plays against any given team, right? And he'll
Right.
alternate them based on who's
That's the
playing
thing.
against.
With 4 plays for Danny Demore, it's not enough for him to score. It's
I'm not saying the 4
it's
same
not.
plays. I'm saying you can
I
have
know.
your 12, 13, 20 plays, but in that game, where are the 4 plays are going to work here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, sorry. I wasn't even listening to you, and I just heard 4 plays.
Yeah.
But if there's 4 plays left in the game to win it, it's not enough. It's not.
needs a full drive.
He needs 6. He needs 5 or 6 plays. Last question here of the night, piece. As we wrap it up, Big Fat Bats. We anointed, or Mo and I anointed them as the number 1 seed in the power
It has to
rankings.
be Mo because seedings.
Yes, yeah. No, but in the power rankings clip, anointed Big Fat Bats as the number 1 ranked team in our power rankings. But since then, they have 2 losses in their last 3 games. Could those 2 losses end up hurting them and by giving them a tougher draw in the playoffs, and does it potentially drop them down into D2?
You and I were not surprised, but
That was a
We
great
know-
game on Monday night at
Yeah.
Manny Vic. Yeah, it was a great game, by
great
the way,
game.
against Prime Time.
But we saw Nicky for a natural lineup in Division D. That's a little dirty.
Yeah.
I mean, look, hey, you fit the cap, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But
You work wonders. You got to make the cap magic.
they brought in a dude who essentially on defense was just everywhere.
Yeah.
The 9 tackles, like, it's not him being picked on. It's him just breaking on plays and just being a big body. And you can see some annoyance from Matthew Zapatelli. You can see he was like the reads weren't developing exactly like he wanted. And so it just, he was a little off his game. Let's say, like, instead of being like at an A minus level, he was like a B plus, B level that game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a great clip of him throwing the out route to AJ Zapatelli.
Yeah.
Weird soccer cut on his first step, if you notice.
Yeah.
But cool. Like,
Yeah.
knowing how to use his body to create space.
Exactly. Yes.
And that connection
And toe
between those two has been
dragging,
awesome.
toe dragging, yeah. And great ball placement, by the way. Like, for, quarterbacks to not, we know when a ball is well placed.
Yeah. Perfect.
That perfect placement. on the
Perfect
ball.
placement. Yeah. So I think that's going to hurt them definitely. I think they expected a different kind of game up against Prime Time. And again, we're surprised by seeing that on the roster. They do win with Flagtastic. So I do expect them to win the last game.
Mm-hmm.
But big losses to every inch counts
Yeah.
and Prime Time. And this shows heading into the playoffs, they might be a little more vulnerable than we believed even a couple of weeks ago.
Eagle, it's now time for...
Games of the week. Here, let me set this all up for us.
Please do.
Or I can just not.
the
That's
music
always
playing?
also fun. No, not yet.
Well, I don't know. I couldn't hear it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Could
whenever
you
I
really
was
not
here.
hear it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
You should probably tell me that before we
I
actually do it.
did.
I feel like you didn't.
No, we did. Go back.
Nah, play the clip.
What clip? What's a clip?
What's a clip?
Exactly. All right, let me just get this started here. That was supposed to be a longer clip, as you normally do, but I can tell you guys are in a rush to go.
I'm hungry.
Yes, I can tell. What are you going to have for dinner tonight?
What's too good to
I
go?
may... no. I may have time to grab chicken wings.
You're
What?
going to grab chicken wings?
Yes.
Make sure
How
you
does
ask
that
for
make sense?
consent first.
That's funny.
Yeah. There we go.
All
Plus,
right.
you have birria consomme to dip your
Yeah, my wings. And
your wings if it's not hot enough. So
yes. I
We're
could
going to
just
go
drink
with
this.
Division A, Royaume Luminaire, #NR.
Go Royaume.
same.
All Stars, Star City.
Give me Star City for that one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Star City. They're going to play with a lot of motivation.
Bless Up, Party Crashers.
I'm going Party Crashers there.
Party Crashers.
All right, Division C, Kiss My In-Laws, Mengoose.
Can't pick it, so peace.
There's a funny game later in the week. I'm gonna go with Kiss My In-Laws.
Okay.
Green Munches, Hot Sauce Sports.
I'll go Green Monk.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
I can't pick it. Hot Sauce Sports by 50.
Killer Rays, Besete Sepot.
I'll go... That's a rematch. Not a rematch, but a continuation of the rained out game. I'll go Besset.
Same.
All Madden, Air Force 1.2.
If George Zergiotis is there, all Madden. If he's not, Air Force 1.2.
Trap
Um,
Stars, Primal.
I didn't pick. I didn't
Yeah,
pick,
he
and
didn't
neither
pick.
did neither did Iggy.
I did.
Whatever. All Madden. Don't be a coward with a hard C.
Trap Stars, Primal.
Give me Primal.
Primal. Primal looks really good, man.
Dirty Birds, The Commission.
The Commission.
I'll go with if Carmen Palice throws the commission. If not, Dirty Birds.
Junkyard Dogs, Top Season.
Give me.
That one's
Junkyard
I'll
Dogs.
go JYD.
Yeah.
Sharks, Bible Study.
Give me Bible study.
Yeah, because ever since you told Corey Walowski that he's a coward, he's lost every
I
game.
mean, Sean Abrams lost a couple of games.
It's
Kowalski.
working. So it's working. Bible study.
All right, Division E, Only Flags, cover 3 inches long.
Oh, that should be good. Give me cover 3 inches long.
Only flags.
Satrial, Trailer Park Boys.
Make me so mad every week.
Yeah, Satrial's been struggling. Give me TPB.
Same.
FSU, Bloodline.
FSU.
FSU.
Area 69, Timberwolves.
Area 69.
Area 69.
Granddaddy Perp, Bend Don't Break.
Bend, but don't break.
There won't be any bending. There won't be any breaking. They win.
All right. Division Co-Ed 2. Never Too Late team, Kiss My End Zone.
We can't pick it.
Never too late team by 50. Eagle, what's your pick?
I don't get to pick.
You
it.
gotta
I just-
pick.
I just
Pick.
call the
You
games.
gotta-
Pick.
We refuse to make our next pick
Yes.
until you pick.
Pick.
Beeftons, Les Marchands de Vitesse.
I just put this on so I can hear you sing.
Your wife is waiting for a phone call, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
Eagle, pick.
No, I don't pick games.
You have to.
I don't have to do anything.
So you're saying our teams aren't valuable to the league? And
no, they're not
really
valuable to
picks.
me.
So as a league employee, you're saying the teams aren't valuable.
No, it's a personal opinion.
So the teams aren't valuable.
As a league of
Okay.
league of professional
So-
and everything, I don't have an opinion.
So your opinion is that our teams are not valuable to the league. Thank you.
Beeftons,
I'll let
Les
them know.
Marchands de
I'll let
Vitesse.
them know that FPF doesn't care about them.
Beef.
I,
No. Their money is better spent at MFL.
Beeftons, Les Marchands de Vitesse.
Beef then.
Beef. No, Marchands Vitesse.
Easy Fun, Fit Squad.
I said Fiscal we're losing out, so I got to stick with it. Easy fun.
Easy fun.
All right, the rookies, Pig 6.
Fun game.
Ooh, yeah.
Pick 6 though.
Yeah, pick 6 by 1.
It'll be a close game.
All right, Co-Ed Division 3. We have 2 games this week. Dream Killers, Les Crevettes.
Give me the shrimps.
Like
And Fast Not Furious 3, We Love Big TDs.
FNF 3.
Fast Not Furious 3.
All right, Division B, Silent Ticklers, Ambush.
I'll go ambush for that.
I will go ambush.
Beers and Brownies, Poseidon's Kiss.
I can't pick it.
I will go beers and brownies.
Women's 1 and 2, we have...
So we should have Eagle pick all these games unless he thinks the women's division is not valuable.
Waz and Wolfpack.
Put him in a
Yeah.
precarious situation. You love cornering people.
Yeah.
I'll go Was.
Same.
Red Nation, Les Petites Miettes.
Le Petit Miette are on a roll. Give me a LPM.
Kind of a plucky game, but
Yep.
give me LPM.
And lastly, Division D, we have... Ooh, actually a lot of games for once. Dilf Gang, Blitz Sisters.
I'll go Dilf Gang. But it's close. It's
I
a
was
close
hoping
game.
Blitz Sisters would turn around earlier, but
Yeah.
give me Duff Gang.
Bandits, Primetime.
Ooh. Having seen Primetime this week, they're getting better every week. Give me Primetime.
Yeah, prime time.
Bandit da Hunsik, The Penetrators.
Hunsick.
Hunsick, yeah.
Big Dracos, Flagtastic.
Big Dracos
Big
is the name. of the team.
BD.
Glory Boys, Flagtastic.
Glory Boys.
Glory Boys.
No Regrets, Born in the 80s.
Give me Born in the 80s.
No regrets.
Oh.
Primetime, Glory Boys.
Man, I'm telling you, Primetime better and better.
I know, I
Give
can't
me-
pick against them.
Give me
Primetime.
Primetime.
Longhorns, Save the Turf Trolls.
Longhorns.
STT.
Really?
Speed kills.
That's true.
And our last game to pick, West Island Boys, Why So Serious?
Wib.
Why do you put me in this position, West Island Boys?
And that's going to be our games of the week.
There's so little games. Just remember that Sundays, there's this coming Sunday, no games Canada Day weekend, as there was no games the week before. Thank God, too. There was a smoggy Sunday. Hopefully we don't have as much smog this one. But yeah, enjoy your Sunday off from FBF.
Happy Canada Day.
Yeah, it's a good time to catch up with all the people you've ignored during the season.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I'll be with my girlfriend. She's in town. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks for the
Welcome,
beer.
Tess.
She will drink your beer. She loves your beer.
Awesome. Very
Yeah.
excited.
B&B, by the way.
Yeah.
Beers and brownie.
Wow, it's for both brews.
Beers and brownie.
That's what it's for.
It's for beers and brownie.
Well, I mean, I like those things.
I think he does. He says magic words, please. I think. I
Mhm.
don't know. I forget in what order it is.
Good night, David.
Dave.
doesn't work 'cause there has to be a setup. So, magic words, please, and then it's Cobra formula. So, like, it's magic words, please, and then there has to be the alley to the U. So it's got to be like, man, Carey Price really messed that up.
Good night, David.
There you go. show about a show about like football.
David.
Can we get Mo back?
Put the place up, yeah we know what we made of. Can't get enough of you, boo, I'm a chaser. Face up, now I feel a little major. Blink of an eye, ego I'm a taker, shaker. Yeah, she was a born shaker, she shake me out that door to no place. Damn, why you doing all that? Thought you was my wife, but you stabbed me in the back. Sounding like a rose when we came out there, we settled facts like Da Vinci. I'm breaking codes and breaking backs. Come on, get your ass up if you're slipping.